here. It's big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name's Mark Hansen. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. It's Friday. We're going to play a little 10-20 no-limit hold'em with an unrestricted buy-in, Dave. We've got our main event $2,500 no-limit hold'em tournament going on today during Winning of the Green. We've got some action players on the table. Of course, we've got Corporation Mike and Barry. I mean, we haven't seen those two on the same table now in a month and a half.
Yeah.
We've got Jason Katsutani.
Ooh, KK.
Yeah, anybody familiar, Asian gentleman who always has the fan. A lot of action, but he's a really good player.
He's an excellent player.
Really good, loose, aggressive player.
I actually compare his game to Mike's game very favorably now. They're very alike.
Yeah. But I think that Jason is still a couple steps. Well, we haven't seen him on the show in a while, but where he was before, he was a couple steps ahead of Mike.
Right.
So let's head over to the table and let's get to it.
Let's do that.
We'll start by introducing the table.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I missed you two last night, Bart.
Yeah.
See, number one, we've got John. And John's a local tournament player. He'll also travel the tournament circuit. Real accomplished player. And I believe his last name is John Rodefer.
Yeah.
Seat number two, we've got Hollywood Russ. And see how Russ plays tonight. He's been playing a lot recently, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Seat number three, one of my favorites. We've got Steve Flicker.
Steve the Face. There he is.
Seat number four, we've got Corporation Mike. Wearing the pink shirt today. Now, the one thing that a lot of these players have in common is a lot of these players have already been knocked out of today's main event, the Winning of the Green. So they're already down $2,500. Seat number five, we've got Farhad. And don't know much about Farhad. Pretty solid player, I think. Yep. Seat number six, we've got Barry Woods. And the second I came in today, Barry actually started screaming at me, "Hey, I watched Wednesday's show, and you were criticizing me. Why are you criticizing me?"
Looks like Barry just lost a big pot there to Flicker.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Seat number seven, we've got Jason Katsutani. KK, very aggressive, very smart player.
Right.
Kind of the same style as, kind of like a Super System, Doyle Brunson, disciple. Really solid player. Seat number eight, we've got Oliver. And seat number nine, we've got Matt. And that's Roswell on 2+2.
That's right.
2+2 followers.
Yep.
Matt's a pretty solid player. Mixes it up once in a while. But he'll play patient and real disciplined all night.
So let's get into the first hand of the night. We're playing 10-20 no limit hold'em. The brown chips are $10 chips. The white chips are hundreds. If you see big chips, they're thousands, and light pink ones are 5,000. Oliver's going to bring this one in from the cutoff. He's got pocket jacks, and he's going to make it 100 to go.
Man, I got to tell you love Flicker. Flicker just won a pot, and all those chips are in front of him. He might not stack those up for 2 hours.
Flicker had limped in there with ace-10. He's going to fold to the raise. Barry Greenstein folds. I don't know what he's doing in there with queen-5 offsuit. And, Barry Woods, excuse me. And he's going to take it down there.
Is there really a difference?
No difference.
No difference at all.
It's funny, Barry actually wrote a response to, I wrote a detailed post on Wednesday's game, the official Live the Bike thread for 322. If you check out 2plus2.com, head over to forums, look at World Poker Tour, etc., and you can check out a live thread that started by about a Kev Map every night. This one's March 24th. But if you look at March 22nd, I kind of wrote a detailed post about how I thought Barry misplayed the hand a little bit, and he was a little bit insulted by it, Dave. When he came in.
Well, hey, it's always hard. I mean, he's in the heat of the battle. He's in the middle of a $20,000 pot. Sometimes, obviously, the adrenaline gets the best of you.
Look at this. Oliver's got pocket jacks again, but Katsutani, to his immediate right, has kings, and he raised. He made it 180 to go, and it looks like Oliver's just going to make a call to his right here.
And seat number one is actually John.
Yeah, that's John, and he's got ace-queen offsuit on the button. Looks like he's going to make the call as well. And he does. Now, is John going to get in trouble if a dry queen flops with rags, as we oftentimes see?
And is Oliver going to get in trouble if the flop comes out 9 high?
And Corporation Mike's going to call with queen 9.
Wow.
So we've got 4-way action to start off the night, almost an $800 pot. Here we go, and it's rags. And is Oliver going to get in trouble here?
Easy flop, obviously, for John and Mike to get away from.
And Katsutani's going to bet. He's going to bet 600, a little under the size of the pot. And how is Oliver going to play this? He knows how aggressive Jason is. Looks like Oliver might have maybe only 2,000 left there, Dave. He's not really that deep in this game.
Yeah, and this is the problem sometimes in a big, deep stack game. You might not put, say, Corporation, and look at nice laydown.
Gets away from it easily.
Nice laydown. Now, you wouldn't put Mike or, say, John there in seat 1 necessarily on a big pocket pair over jacks, because they just called the raise.
Yeah.
But Jason Katsutani was the original raiser. He could easily have kings, queens, or aces there.
No.
That's a great laydown there with jacks. Not an easy hand to get away from at all, especially against Jason Katsutani. I mean, Katsutani, he could be raising with 7 deuce and then continue like that.
As always, we love to keep the show interactive. You can email us at live@thebike.com. And you can also follow a live thread again on 2+2. You can Skype us by voicemail. You can also check out our website, live@thebike.com. A lot of interesting stuff over there. You can check out As Seen on Live at the Bike for some of the terms that we commonly use in this game. That's live@thebike.com spelled out. The email is live@thebike.com. Jason Katsutani is going to raise her.
And you see here he's raising with, actually, we cannot see his hand, can we?
Well, he's got 8-10 offsuit.
There you go.
And look at this, Farhad's got pocket kings, and he limped in early position here, it looked like. And Farhad just made a smooth call there, Dave.
Wow, and look at this flop for 8-10. Not bad at all. He's got open-ended straight draw.
You know what? I don't know if I got the action right. Did Farhad raid that pre-flop? Seat 5 did raise it pre-flop, Dave.
Okay.
And he's going to continue on. He's going to bet 400. Katsutani made a smooth call on the flop. Now a $400 bet by Farhad. And Jason is going to...
Actually, it's the other way around. So $150 bet by Farhad, and Jason made it 400 more.
Yeah, Farhad comes over the top here. There you go.
Showed you where to put it.
And Jason throws it away.
Turn would have been a queen. Jason would have made the straight.
And that's sometimes, oftentimes you and I will we're advocates for raising your draws.
Right.
But that is a risk, obviously, where if he just calls that $150 bet, and then a queen comes off,
Yep.
I'm not sure he might have won a big pot.
Right.
Kings.
Again, though, if you look at kings there isn't a whole lot you can beat when that queen comes on board on the turn, right? One
Can't be
pair.
2 pair anymore. Queen jack, obviously.
Yeah. Button's going to move over here to flicker in C3. Jason Katsutani's going to limp in with a king jack. Oliver's in there with queen 10 off suit. Matt comes in with king 6 suited in seat 9. Flicker's got a little 5-3 of diamonds, a little gap suited connector he calls. Mike's got jack 9, and we're going to see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways here. So it's a $120 pot, actually 7 ways, 140. Now 7-4-7 here on the flop.
Yeah, nobody's got anything here. The best hand is actually king high. No, I'm sorry, ace high, seat number 2 has the best hands.
Yeah, Russ has got ace 10. That's the hand we don't have up right now.
Yeah, Steve actually with 5-3 has got a gut shot.
And it got checked around here, Dave. The turn's a deuce, and it changes nothing.
Yeah, he's open-ended now.
And now Mike's gonna bet 120 here with jack 9.
Let's see how Steve plays his hand. Is he going to call, or is he going to raise, or is he just going to throw it away?
It's a deuce of spades on the turn here. And we're heads up between jack 9. It's getting folded around a Steve Flicker with 3-5 of diamonons.
And he's not going to get involved. He's going to give it up.
Yeah.
Mike was in the blind there. Easily could have had 7.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Jack 7.
And he claims that he had jack high.
But not
jack
quite.
7.
Not quite. Now, Dave, when you weren't here yesterday, the show went really smoothly. Again, we were talking about some of the streaming upgrades we're doing here over the next week. Had some problems the first 15 minutes, and when everyone was kind of logging on. So again, bear with us, and if you have problems, you can always catch us on a replay that's run 24/7, an hour after the show, starting an hour after the show.
Pocket queens for Hollywood Russ in seat 2.
And it gets folded to him, and he's going to open for a raise here. 1 off the cutoff.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. He makes it $100.
Doesn't look like anybody's going to call him, and he's going to take it down here without a flop.
Take it down in Hollywood.
Button's going to move here to seat 5, Farhad.
I thought you were going to say the show went really smooth without me.
It did too. That too. And, you know, I was actually telling my producer and some of the tech guys in here that I was going to lay off a little bit. But I found myself still talking constantly throughout the show.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really phenomenal. It's like the little motor, the little train that could.
Yeah. So again, Buttons in seat 5. Let's get folded around in Russ here. Flicker's going to fold.
I actually did watch a little bit of the replay. And I thought you did quite a good job doing the play-by-play and the color all by yourself.
Did you have any doubt?
No, I didn't. I really didn't.
Farhad limps in here on the button, open limp with ace-5, and the flop comes out queen 9-9. He's heads up against the blinds here. Everybody misses, and it looks like Farhad's going to bet here with ace-high. He bets 100, and he's going to take it down there. So, of course, again, we're doing a $2,500 no-limit hold'em main event here at Winning of the Green, Dave. And
that's the one, actually, that kind of jump-started Jean-Robert Valland.
Yep.
He had a great week and a half, I want to say, where he won the event here last year.
Yeah.
And then he went on to the Bellagio and did really well in the Bellagio's Classic.
And he got on TV. He made the final table in one of the circuit events, too, of the World
I mean, he won,
Series.
I want to say, $250,000 in a span of 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Limp here by John in seat 1 and by Russ.
You know, we keep saying that Corporation Mike is good at tournaments and he's been trying them, but we keep seeing him out here.
Barry Woods here, he's going to raise on the button. He's got 10-3 of diamonds. He plays really aggressive from the button. He raises it to 130 here.
He's been really playing more hands lately, hasn't he?
Russ is going to call with a couple of ducks here, and we're heads up. And this is probably going to go check, bet. If Russ doesn't hit the set, fold.
Of course.
And that's what's happened here. Ace 6-8. Barry makes a continuation bet. He bets 120. Wow, and Russ is going to call him here, Dave. Wow, unbelievable. Well, you don't know where you're at with pocket deuces. The turn to king, it's another overcard.
Yeah, and you know, Barry's actually picked up a draw. Look at this Hollywood Russ is cutting some chips, though.
Yeah, he's going to come out and bet now. But like you said, Barry's picked up a diamond draw here on the turn. And Russ is going to bet 200 here. And Barry calls.
Wow.
And you wonder if it goes miss. And look at this, the river's a 10, but Barry's backed into the best hand.
And if Russ checks it, you imagine Barry might check as well, thinking that, you know what?
Well, yeah, but the other thing, though, too, is that Barry might think he has to bet here to win. Because Russ came out and bet the turn.
Of course, but what could he get Russ to lay down? What, is Russ going to lay down an ace here?
Well, the pot is about $800 here. Barry's trying to figure out if his 10 is good enough to show down right now. And he is going to bet here, Dave.
I think he obviously thinks that he needs to bet it. And I can't imagine Russ calling this.
He bets 800, and Russ does not call. There it is.
And you got to like the way Barry played the hand there.
Yep.
Whether he hits a 10 on the river or not, he's probably going to bet and probably take it down.
Yep.
You get pocket tens every other hand or what? Yeah, basically.
Button's going to move over here to seat 7.
Forced a couple of days ago.
Barry's also one of those players, kind of like Corporation Mike, where the money doesn't mean that much to him. He's playing, and because of that, he can really play it pretty freely.
Yes, but not enough.
Dave, we're going to go blind here this hand without cards here. We're fixing something on the screen. Russ has brought this one in with a couple of black 10s, and no one's going to play with them.
Well, there you go.
And he takes it down.
That's easy enough. Good job there. Great play-by-play.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's interesting. We're talking about introducing a new segment where we play somebody's hand blind.
Yeah.
A couple times. You know, maybe for half an hour we play, say, Corporation Mike's hand blind. We might start that over the next week or so.
I was actually talking to Mo about it, and he was saying how he wanted everybody to do it, and I was like, well, that's too many people.
Yeah.
So then he came up with the idea of maybe we do a couple of rounds, and whoever's on the button, we don't get to see their cards.
Yep.
Sorry. Which obviously would put us to the test and our viewers to the test of what this person might have.
Right.
Kind of an exciting segment there.
Farhad's going to limp in here in seat 5. We need to see his cards. Barry limps in. And Jason Katsutani is going to raise here with pocket 7s. Again, we're going to go blind here at the cards. We'll try to lead you through it here. So Jason's brought it in with 7s. Seat 5 limped in with 9 deuce of hearts. and he's going to fold. And Barry's got Jack 9, and he's going to make the call here.
Calls Jason out of position.
Yeah. So we got Jack 9 for Barry and pocket 7s for Katsutani. Well, Barry's totally missed his flop here.
And obviously Jason in position there.
King 5 deuce on the flop.
He's going to put a little continuation bet out there.
He's going to bet 220 with pocket 7s. And Barry has totally missed this. Is he going to make a move?
Barry's trying to get that phase. Is he really trying to win every single pot he's playing?
Yeah. And Jason takes it down.
That's the kind of hand we really want to come out like something like 10-8-7 if you have Jack 9 against pocket 7.
Right, exactly. Again, you can email us, as always, at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, always appreciated.
Did you see Duke lost yesterday?
I did.
And
Did you see that?
UCLA
Did you see that the Patriots lost Jason Vinatieri?
Yeah. He went to the Colts.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's it. The heart and soul of the Patriots is gone.
Yep.
You're in trouble now.
Seat number 7 here is going to race to 80. Jason Katsutani with 6-8. Actually, seat 5 would race with pocket aces. Jason's going to call with 6-8 offsuit. Matt calls on the button.
Oh, he calls with ace-10 offsuit.
Yeah.
A hand that could easily be dominated.
And he said that was the worst hand in poker. I was playing with him at the 5-10 table earlier.
Ace-10 offsuit?
Yep.
And I wouldn't say it's the worst hand, but it's not a good hand.
5-way action, $500 pot here. Well, 9-deuce-8 here with a couple of diamonds.
Now, Jason's got second pair.
Seat 2, Russ has got ace-5 of diamonds. He's got the nut flush draw. And seat number 5 is going to bet 200 here. He bets 200 into about a, 200 into a $500 pot.
And Jason's not going to get involved.
But Russ is going to make the check call.
All right, so I'm hot.
And now Mike is going to call with queen 10. He's got a gut shot to the jack. $1,100 top pot to the turn. Turns an 8.
Yeah, Jason Katsutani would have made trip 8s there.
And now Farhad's going to bet 400 into about a $1,200 pot with aces.
He's kind of pricing these guys in with a draw, isn't he?
Yeah.
The pot is now 1,600, 400 to call. You're getting 4-1 on your money plus implied odds. You have to call this, don't you?
Well, unless you think he's betting weekly and he's already filled up or something like that.
Yeah, obviously a danger. Obviously the ace of diamonds would not be good, but it's in Russ's hand.
And look at this. The river is a 6 of diamonds, and Russ makes it. It's a $2,400 pot. And Russ checked it. He got there and he checked it. And Farhad checked right behind him. Wow.
I mean, I guess it's one of those questions, are you scared that the guy has... And interesting, this would have been really funny. Jason Katsutani actually would have made runner, full house.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, with a paired board, it is dangerous going for those straights and flushes. Right. And if you're not going to... If there's no implied odds involved, well, then just throw the hand away.
Yeah. Live straddle here by... seat number 4, Corporation Mike.
I mean, I guess it does put yourself in a dangerous spot. The pot is now $2,000. Let's say you come out with a $1,000 bet on the river and the guy raises you all in at $4,000 more. Then what do you do with your flush?
Matt is going to raise here with pocket queens.
Steve Flicker has pocket 9s.
Thank you, Donna.
Matt is raised here with pocket queens.
John called, Flicker called, and that brought in Mike as well. And we're seeing it 5 ways.
5-way action here. Jack 3-4. Well, Mike's got top pair.
Is he going to get involved? And that's not really the flop you're looking for with Jack 8 of diamonds.
Look at the 8s and 9s here.
It's not a bad flop for 8s and 9s either.
Yeah. It's about an $800 pot.
Matthew's a pretty solid player, though. I mean, would he bet into 4 opponents in a raised pot on a bluff?
He's going to bet 400 here, Dave.
I mean, would he do this with ace, king of diamonds?
He's going to bet 400 into about an $800 pot, I want to say. John is going to get away from pocket 8s here on the button.
Interesting to see how Flicker plays this. Flicker's really showed no strength at all. Trying to wonder, does this guy miss this hand?
He folds.
It looks like it, yeah.
And Mike, you know what?
Actually,
yeah,
okay.
Is Mike going to... No, Mike is going to make the check call here.
How much money does that Mike have behind?
He doesn't have that much left here. And the pot now is $1,600 as we go to the turn. Turns a deuce. That's no help.
Well, can he represent clubs?
Mike is going to check here.
Now, Matthew has the queen of clubs in his hand.
And he's asking Mike, how much do you have left? He's got about 860. Matt might just move him in here, Dave.
This would be ironic. Yeah.
It's a $1,600 pot.
Yeah, and Mike's in terrible shape here. Mike needs an 8 that is not a club or a jack. So he's basically got, what, I want to say he's got 4 outs.
And Matt took the card, and the river's a 3 here.
Wow, and you know what? That's going to induce
And that is going to induce the bluff here by Mike. And Matt is going to call, I'm sure, here. I mean, the pot is now 2,400. It's 800 to call, Dave. I think this is exactly what he wanted.
I'm assuming that's why he set the play up, right?
Yeah.
I actually like the play. Oftentimes, if your opponent is really deep, I'd rather bet on the turn and build the pot up a little bit.
Yeah.
But in this case, he only had $800 left.
Yeah.
Why not? Check it. Let him think his jack is good and then bet it. I don't think Matt can lay this down.
Matt makes the call. And Matt's going to take it down there with queens over a $3,000 pot.
Yeah, nice, well played there by Matt.
Again, you know, by checking the turn, not only are you inducing a bluff, but you're not that scared, obviously. It doesn't hurt you if the 4th club comes. Now, if Matt say he's got queen of hearts, queen of diamonds there, I think he's probably going to move Mike all in there on the turn, right?
I think he needs to, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a matter of getting paid off. Let's say Mike actually checked the river, right?
Right.
He thinks, okay, I don't need to bet. I've got a jack. I don't need to bet this. And then Matt puts an $800. Well, it really puts Mike in a situation where he almost has to call, doesn't he?
Right.
Just kind of mixes up your play a little bit. Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. You're watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 10 and 20.
Live straddle here by seat number 5.
Yeah, that's far hard. If we ever say anything that you're not quite sure what we mean, check out our website and go to As Seen on Live the Bike. And we have a whole list of terminology that we use here on the show. And Farhard's got an ace.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to come out and bet right away. Oliver's got second pair with the jack, and he's going to call. Look at that. Matt's not going to get involved. And Mike doesn't get involved. We got heads up here.
Yep.
Ace-9 versus king-jack.
Turns a queen.
Check.
Oliver's picked up a gut shot, and it goes check. Is Oliver going to take the card here?
Here, Wayne. Keep that.
Not much of a draw. I mean, you look at that hand, you go, what was my opponent betting?
Right.
The board is ace-jack-7.
And he's going to bet here 400, it looks like. And seat 5 is going to check raise.
Wow.
He's going to check raise. He's going to raise 800 more on with the ace, the ace-9.
It's almost as if he flopped 2 pair. He put a little feeler bet to see where he was at, and now he's trapped his opponent. And I don't think you can call this if you're king-jack, can you? But it's clear you're behind here. I mean, the worst hand you could probably put your opponent on is, say, queen-jack.
Right.
I mean, shoot, your opponent could even have king-10 here. You could be drawing dead to a chop, and Oliver's going to get away from it.
Well, he's going to fold, yep. There it is. Button's going to move over here to seat 3, Steve Flicker. Bin's going to come into the box here.
Get all of his, hi, honey, up there. I love you, sweetheart. Get all the airtime you can with his new heritage.
Button's going to move over here to Steve Flicker in seat 3.
Small blind is $10, big blind is $20, and Barry Woods is under the gun. And he's going to raise right away under the gun with king-jack suited.
He's going to make it 80. Matt is going to call here with queen 6 of hearts.
Wow. Kind of an interesting call. Creative play, I might say.
Mike is going to call. We can't see what he has over there in seat 4. Oh, now he's going to show us. 6-7 off suit. And seat 5 is going to call with 3-4 suited.
He's got hearts. He's badly dominated by Matt's hearts.
4-way action here. $320 pot. Queen, jack 3 with a couple clubs. Nice flop for Barry here with king, jack of clubs. Look at seat 5. He's going to lead in with bottom pair here.
Now, the interesting thing is now, if when Barry calls or maybe raises this, I mean, I'm not sure what you're looking for with Matt's hand there, up and down suited.
He's going to bet 150, and Barry's going to call. And Matt quickly gets away from top pair there.
I mean, I understand thinking, okay, Barry's getting out of line. Barry could have anything under the gun, but you've got queen 6 suited.
Barry's in great shape, and he picks up the nuts here on the turn. He's got the nut flush.
Yeah, he's in really good shape.
Pot is now about $800. Check to Barry. He's going to bet 200 here.
Try to build himself a little bit of a pot here. Obviously, Farhad's got nothing, though. I think he's going to throw it away.
And he does. Barry shows the nut flush, and he takes it down.
That's it, just a nut flush, huh?
Wow.
And that was one of those few times that Barry was actually heads up against Matthew there. Matt had queen 6, so he actually had the best hand on the flop.
Right.
But Barry was a favorite to win the hand.
Right.
Because he had 15 outs.
Button's going to move over here to Mike.
You know, I'm starting to think, you said you had no problems with the connection last night, but you're having problems tonight. Maybe it's that steel plate that I have in my head.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Again, if you can hear us, you can always watch the show on a replay. We're going through some changes over the next week. Give us a week, and everything will be better. Mike is going to raise here with ace-queen. He's going to make it 80 to go.
Mike raises?
Barry's got queen 6 offsuit here.
Now, there used to be a day, I really like Mike's game now, there used to be a day where Mike would raise on the button with 7 deuce offsuit and limp in with ace queen. But now he's raising with 7 deuce offsuit and ace queen at least.
Get your money in there. Actually can beat my hand. Get your money in there and don't do that gay giggle for at least a half hour.
That gay giggle, I love that, that's great.
80?
Wow.
All right, I'll give you. You ever seen anybody
Barry's going to make the call.
$60?
And Barry's in bad shape
And
here.
Russ makes the call.
And Russ is in bad shape.
Yeah.
That means
Look
you
at this,
must
they're all
have a big
sharing
hand.
each other's cards. Obviously, Mike's in great shape.
Three-way action here.
Oh, they're playing 20
Ace 5-7. Well, Mike's got a nice hand. He's got top pair on the second nut flush draw.
Now, Russ is open-ended here, but there's 3 hearts up there, and he does not have a heart in his hand.
Mike's going to bet. Looks like maybe 200 here.
This is kind of no limit.
Oh, my goodness. And Barry's going to call here. What is he calling with?
That's surprising you called.
I mean, he's drawing stone cold dead here. Almost here to Mike.
Yeah, he needs. What does he need?
I don't. The turn's a king.
Not that. What does he need? And now he.
Hey, look at this. Now he's going to bet. He bets 300 here. He's trying to bluff out Mike here, but Mike got a powerful hand. And Mike is going to raise. He's going to make it 600.
But does Barry have the cojones to actually follow through with this and make it 1,000 now?
Yeah.
Whose pots are going to be over 600? Who wins? Who wins 2,000?
And did Barry call just to make it a collection pot for Mike?
I don't know.
You wonder.
Let you have it, Mike. Nice bet.
Now, for any of our beginners out there, Bart, I'm curious. Russ there had 6-8 suited, 6-8 of spades here.
Right.
Why would you not go for that open-ended straight draw? I mean, why is that essentially a worthless draw?
Well, because, you know, obviously you don't even know if you're good now, and if you're trying to hit your open-ended straight draw, 2 of those cards coming are obviously going to be no good.
Right.
It's going to bring a 4th heart to the board.
I mean, even if you know your opponent does not have the flush yet,
Right.
and you get lucky enough to catch your card that gives you the winner,
Right.
they probably have redraws to the flush.
Okay. I mean, we talk about not chasing open-ended straight draws with 2 flushes out there.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if that card comes, you know, and it's the 3rd flush card, if it makes a flush for somebody.
That was unbelievable. Yeah, it is.
Mike's very excited. He just won a pot.
2 in a row is my record.
Check the camera.
Mike is going to raise here with Queen Jack.
And Farhad's going to call this.
King
Man.
3 suited.
Is this the kind of game you'd want to play in, Bart?
Well, I guess it depends on, you know, where you're looking to go. Ace 8-4, kind of play a little bit tight. Couple clubs, and Mike is going to bet here. And we're not going to have the cards up right now.
Yeah, and although that Mike does not have the best hand, Farhad actually had a king high.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't call there. Mike has the betting lead and continues to bet and takes it then. And he says, good folds.
2 in a row, that's my new record.
Button's going to move over here to Barry and seek 6.
It's an interesting day I had today. I had lunch, actually, with Isaac and Garo. And they were talking. They were talking about all sorts of technical stuff, like internet savvy stuff. I just nodded my head, and kind of like I just nodded and kind of smiled, like I knew I had any clue what they were saying.
Mike's got a king jack suited here in seat 4.
80's the raise, 90 doesn't work.
And he's going to raise.
100 nobody calls, 80 everybody calls, so I'm trying to shoot.
And actually, Russ is going to raise here, and Mike calls. Russ raised with king 10 of diamonds, and Russ made the call here. Mike made the call with king jack suited.
Okay.
Seat 5 is going to call with 9-6 suited. Big lick.
Well, we've got every suit covered here.
Yep. Hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds.
And we've got a pair in there. I'm sure Jason's going to call this now with 6s. And Oliver's probably going to call a jack 10. I mean,
Barry does not call with king 5 of hearts.
And what was the raise? $80?
80.
Wow, so $80 times 6 ways. No, 5 ways.
5 ways, yeah.
$400 pot.
Right. Here we go to the flop here. This is probably going to hit somebody. Here we go. Queen 4 deuce. Well, Mike's got the flush draw. No one has a queen, though. And Jason actually has the best hand right now with 6s. Mike bets. Now, is Jason going to get involved here with 6s? He does. He makes the call.
Yeah, okay.
I still have no idea where Jason.
Now, you notice how Jason has the 6 spades in his hand.
Right.
On the off chance that he catches a 6, it will be good, obviously.
Here we go to the turn. The turn's another queen.
Wow, that makes your hand even. I mean, you got to like your 6s even better now, don't you?
And how is Jason going to play this?
I think he's going to put a little bet on there, thinking maybe that Mike's on a draw.
And he bets. He bets $450 now. Check call. And Mike is going to make the call.
I'll give you extra.
Now you actually hope you don't have the 6 of spades in your hand and it would come off and give somebody a flush.
$1,700 pot to the river, and the river's an 8, and Mike makes the flush. Check here by Jason, and Mike's going to bet. And he bets 1,000. And Jason says to Mike, "Next catch."
And look at that. Jason even calls and says, "If you don't have a flush, I'll give you $50."
Yeah.
Flush, you're right.
Mike says, "I flushed her right." And the button's going to move over here to Jason.
I tell you, when Mike sits at the table, you ask a lot of good poker players in this game, and oftentimes you ask somebody, well, who scares you the most? And a lot of times they say, Mike scares me the most. I never know where he's at.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one player that can kind of match wits with him, it's Jason.
Right. There's Maria, the lovely cocktail waitress.
And she's got a terrible body, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Button is in Capitani's. Seat number 7 there.
Yep.
Mike raises again. He raises with 9-5. Dolly Parton there. And look at this. Mike raises with 9-5 and gets called by a hand that he actually has dominated. He gets called by Farhad, who's calling him with 9-3.
Wow.
And Jason is going to re-raise here with Jack 8 offsuit. And Mike is going to re-raise. Look at this hand, folks. Mike has 9-5. He has raised to $80. Farhad called him with 9-3. And now Jason, thinking he was weak, re-raised them both up to $250. Mike, sensing the steal, re-raised them back with 9-5 and takes it down. Wow. There's some poker for you, huh? Gives Jason a sly smile and takes it down.
I thought you might raise it.
I've been playing tight, man. You can't fight me.
Yeah, you know I'm in a rush. I'm just going to start raising with a lot of marginal hands.
Marginal hands, 9-5 offsuit. How is that even marginal?
Right.
I mean, that's a loose interpretation of marginal. Well, this time, Steve Flicker's got king, queen offsuit. He's going to limp in.
Out of position, 95. Very good. It's less suspicious in early position.
And Kachitani's going to raise this up. He's got ace, 8 suited. Makes it 1:30 to go. Flicker's going to call.
Let's sit at the flop.
And, well, that's going to bring Barry in as well. And we're seeing this 3-way. The pot's about $420. Flop comes out king high, king 5-5. And Steve Flicker, with a face, is in command of this pot.
Yep.
And I believe he checked it. And Barry checks. And Jason's going to take a shot at it. And he's going to put out a little bet there. He's going to put out $350. And Steve is going to, looks like a raise here. Looks like a little check raise here by Flicker. And Jason's not going to get involved. He throws it away right away. Most of these players at this table, they'll give Steve a lot of respect.
9-5?
He's played this game for a long time. He's a seasoned pro. Real solid player, and he takes down about an $800 pot. Steve's one of those guys, you won't see him play too many hands, but invariably he will come out ahead most nights.
Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com with questions, comments, suggestions. Again, if you're having some streaming problems, you can always watch this show on a replay, Dave. Here, we're going to take a look at the first chip count of the night. We've got over $32,000 on the table. Let's take a look at how these players are doing since the beginning of the game now.
And here we go.
Wow, look at Matt, seat number 9, up 4,200 there.
Wow, and Steve, he's up a couple thousand. Quietly up a couple thousand. Farrow's up $1,000. Wow. Flop comes up, Jackie, 9 of hearts here, was linked around. We got 9-10 over there for John in seat 1. And Russ is going to come out and bet. He's going to bet with 7-10. He's flopped the bottom end of a straight here. And he comes out and bets. Very clubs, I like to bet.
Yeah, it's a very vulnerable hand here. Matt is going to call with 9-10. Again, you know, Russ has got the bottom end of it. He's got 2 clubs out, and there are 2 hearts out there. Here we go to the turn. Turns a queen, and now they both have straights to the queen.
And neither player's on a free roll because neither player has a heart.
Right.
But both players have to play a little scared here. And what do you do if you're Matthew? I mean, you've hit the straight now, but is it any good?
Russ bets 200 here. Let's see if Matt senses this one out, that Russ is a little bit weak here.
And might you raise this with the straight here, scared that if a 4th heart comes off,
Right, you're
it's
trying
no
to
good.
You're trying to protect your hand here.
Exactly.
But Matt is just going to make the call here. And here we go to the river. The river's a king. Changes nothing.
They both the same hand, obviously.
And now if Russ checks, you bet here.
Oh, I think if Russ checks, you definitely bet it.
Try to bet him off, maybe a 10. He's just going to bet 100, though, Dave. And Russ makes the call. And they're both going to chop it up here with straights to the king. And there it is.
I mean, it's one of those times on the turn.
Yeah.
If you raise it up, if you're Matthew, you make it say 600 to go.
Yeah.
And the guy, if the guy doesn't have the absolute nuts, I'm talking about the ace high flush.
Yeah.
Can he even re-raise you?
Right.
You know what I mean? If he's got, like, say, a 6 high flush or 5 high flush, he might just call you.
Right.
The river comes out, you can check it down. You get a free showdown. And you might be able to get him off the chop pot.
Looks like Kev Math actually posted up on 2+2 a link to our show that seems to be working better than the link that is. Check
Here we are, live at the bike.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, keeping it raw, unedited, unscripted.
Pocket Kings here for Barry Woods.
And Jacks for Steve
Jack
Flicker.
for Steve Flicker. And Barry's going to bring it in here for 120.
And Mike Corporation Mike's got a real monster for him. He has ace high in the straddle spot.
Right. Barry's raised it with 1 to 120 here.
Now, the only thing that was interesting here, I was wondering, I thought maybe Barry would limp in, hoping that Mike would raise out of the straddle spot.
And we're going to see this one 3 ways. It's going to be a $360 pot. Here we go to the flop. A queen 5-9. Mike's got the nut flush draw here, and Barry's got an overpair.
Oh, we can get fireworks here, folks. This could be fireworks. Now, Barry does have the king of clubs in his hand. Makes his hand a little bit stronger.
Barry bets 300 here, and is Steve going to get involved here with 1 overcard?
You know, Steve does not have the jack of clubs in his hand.
He's going to call. And now, what is Mike going to do?
Oh, with 2 players in there, he might just call.
Mike has got a PDA. He needs to get off of that while he's in the hand, and he's going to check raise. He makes the check raise.
Now, you know, I was wondering how he would play it when Steve calls. I mean, Steve could be doing that with a set. Who knows?
And Mike and Barry's going to re-raise here. He's going to re-raise. He's going to make it 1,500 more.
And you can see the percentages. Mike is not in that bad shape here, folks, because he has an overcard with the nut flush draw.
Right.
He has what he thinks 9 clubs, plus 3 aces would give him 12 outs. He actually has 11 outs because the king of clubs is dead.
I'm sure Steve is easily going to get away from it. He does. And this pot is approaching $3,000, about $1,500 for Mike to call.
And Mike's got a lot of money. But the problem with Mike just calling this, he's only going to see 1 card. Because if he doesn't catch it on the turn, he's going to throw it. You know Barry's going to move them all in.
And he's really thinking about it here. He gets about a $3,000 pot, $1,500 to call.
I mean, at this point here, if you're Mike, might you just move in or might you just lay it down?
He's really thinking about this one.
I mean, he's out of position. He's really in a tough spot.
And he moves all in here, Dave.
I was going to say, you know, if he just calls this, he misses the turn, he'll never see the river.
What do you got?
And Barry's going to call, and this is going to be about a $6,000 or $7,000 pot. And they're probably, it's $3,800 more, so this is more like a $9,000 pot. And they might run it a couple times
Yeah,
here.
you can see the percentages. Mike is not in bad shape because he's got the overcard.
Yep.
He's actually in better shape than, let's say, if Barry had ace queen.
They're just going to run it once here. The turn's a 3, and the river's a king, and Mike misses it, and Barry's going to take it down there with trip kings. Made a set on the river. Turns a 3 of hearts, river's a king of hearts, and Mike misses.
Yep.
And Barry has Mike covered, I believe.
Yeah, and I can't fault the way Mike played. I think Mike only had 2 moves there on the flop.
Right.
You can disagree with me if you want to. I think he either lays it down to the raise,
Yeah.
to the re-raise after he check raised, or you move all in.
Right.
You got to remember, obviously, if he just calls the $1,500 raise by Barry,
Yeah.
he misses the turn. The turn comes out 3 of hearts. Well, then what do? You check, and then that's it.
Right. Button's going to move over here to seat 2.
Chips.
And Mike has gone broke, and he's going to call for chips here.
And that's the second time Mike has gone broke now, and he's probably down close to, I want to say, 5,000 for the night.
Yep.
Barry gets some nice action.
Button's going to move over here to seat 2.
Got 3 aces
And
11
Barry
clubs.
is up big
I
now.
think in all those races, I probably haven't won one this week.
Yep, poor Mike.
Yep.
Somebody get that man some cheese.
80.
$80 raise from Jason there. He has 9-10. John is going to call with 7-6 suited. Is Flicker going to get involved with an ace-jack in the small blind? Yeah, he's going to get involved here. He's going to call. And we're going to see this 3 waves. Pot is about $420.
3-way action here. Ace, 9, ace, and Steve's got trip aces here. Flicker from up front.
Is Jason going to get involved? I mean, he's got...
Well, Steve has checked.
Yeah, Steve seems to he likes the check raise.
And Katsutani's going to bet here.
And why not check raise against Katsutani,
Yeah.
who's ultra aggressive? You know you're going to get the bet from him.
Yep.
And Steve has just called.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Just is going to call here, playing that a little bit conservatively.
Problem is Jason's got to know he's in trouble here. Wow, look at this, and now Steve is filled up.
Wow.
Jason is completely drawing
And Steve
dead.
is now going to lead into the turn here.
Well, he's going to lead in, hoping that Jason's got an ace.
Yep.
But Jason does not have an ace. And the hand's dead.
Look at that.
We talk about sometimes building a pot for yourself.
Right. You know, if Jason did have an ace there, ace queen or ace king, boy, that puts it to the test, right? I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Especially against Steve.
But then you look at it and you're like, what would Steve call me with? Steve's such a tight player. Would he call with ace 8 or ace 9? You know
No, he
what I
probably
mean?
would, but he would call. He might call with queens, kings, jacks, tens.
Right.
And he still might call a bet where the board comes out ace, ace, 9.
Button's going to move over here to seat 3, Steve Flicker. Again, if you guys are all having streaming problems, you can watch the show in a replay starting an hour after the show. Continues on until 5 p.m. the next day. We are going through some upgrades to our streaming as our audience continues to go up.
Mike makes it $200 out of the small blind with ace queen.
Yep. And
He's
seat,
playing, what, 3,000 behind?
and seat 5's going to call with 9-10 suited. He's playing 2,000 behind here, dude.
2,000, okay. This pot is now 400, right?
Yep,
About
here we go.
440.
Ace queen with 9-10 of spades. The flop comes queen 3-9.
Nice flop from Mike.
And Mike's going to bet 300 out here. Well, actually, he's putting in the money that he owed. Let's see how much he's going to bet here. He bets 300. Well, there you go. I called it.
And look at this.
And Farhad's going to quickly call with 9-10. Pot's $1,000 now. The turn's
Uh-oh.
an 8, and now Farhad's got a spade draw.
And
Mike's going to move all in.
And Farhard's also got a flush, a
spade draw.
gut shot,
Right.
a gut shot as well. Any jack would give him a straight. He's got a lot of outs here. Any
Yeah.
spade, any 9, any 10, any jack.
And Mike has moved in here for, I think, another 1,400, and that's pretty much covers Farhad. But again, he's got the straight draw, he's got the spade draw, and he has a pair. As you can see from the percentages, he's about 2-1 here. And I don't think he's actually getting 2-1. I think Mike is overbet all in here on the turn.
The pot is what, 1,400? Actually, the pot's 28, 14 to call. The pot was 400 pre-flop, then a $300 bet and a $300 call. So the pot is actually 1,000. I'm sorry, the pot is 2,400, 1,400 to call. Not quite getting 2-1.
And he makes the call, and we're going to see one card. Farhad needs a spade, a 9, or a jack, and the river's a king. He could have caught a 10 also.
Yep.
And he misses.
Man, that's a lot of outs. 9 spades. 9 spades. 3 10s, 2 9s, and 3 additional jacks. Man, I mean, we're talking 17 outs to the river.
Great race, Mike. Thanks, Alan.
37% of the rest of the deck he had.
You just beat me.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tucker here with Bart Hanson. You're watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are $10 and $20. Button moves over to Mike in seat 4. Small blind is Farhad. Let's see how much he rebuys for. And just like that, Mike, I mean, I swear, when you watch Mike play, he is an absolute roller coaster ride, his chips. You'll see him down 5,000, then even, back and forth all day. Check out Steve Flicker's chips there. He still has a stack of them.
That's dominant call with the worst hand. Yeah, you had the absolute fucking 51-49. We're fucking here.
No love lost there between Barry and Mike.
That's something I'd put a big rate.
And
$80 pre-flop. It's a folding.
let's see what happens here. See number 8 limps in with ace-jack. That's Oliver. John is limped in with 10s. And Mike is going to raise to $100 with ace-10.
Still stacking your chips.
I'm sorry, ace-8 suited.
Sure.
And is Barry going to call this now? He calls. And Oliver's going to call, and I'm sure John is at least going to call. He just calls. Does not re-raise it. And we're going to see this 4 ways. The pot is about $440. And look at that quad 10s for John. Oh, my. Quad 10s. Wow, how do you play this? Well, you know what? With Mike in there, you might hope. You know Mike is going to bet it. And sure enough, Mike does bet it.
Mike, it looks bad when you're in town.
Barry's not going to get involved. Oliver's not going to get involved. And now it's just a question of how is John going to play this? Now, John is not very deep, I don't think.
You're saving the rest?
Yeah.
Looks like he only has another 400 left. And if Mike catches an ace or an 8, and there's the ace, and Mike's going to lose another $400, that's pretty much guaranteed. John has flopped quads. And John moved all in. Mike calls at the ace, shows the quad 10s. And that's probably good for at least half the pot.
So I just hope him to get into
Mike shows the ace.
To make a monster, right?
Now, it was funny, you know, obviously, hey, it worked out okay for John. He flopped quads. If I'm that short, now John only had about, I want to say $800, $700 left. He actually called a $100 raise there, $150 raise, with only about $700 behind him. That might have been a play where Mike raises, you get a call from Barry and a call from seat number 8, where I'll re-raise, pot committing myself. I might even put all my money in there with what I think is probably the best hand, pre-flop, because I just don't have enough money to really make it. There's not enough, you know, implied odds to make it worthwhile. I only have $700 more. Now, if I've got $1,700 or $2,700, hey, nothing wrong with smooth calling there, hoping I hit a big hand and win a big pot.
I saw the 10 in the window with that.
And Mike's going to raise again. Mike's raising pretty much every hand. He's got kings, 7 of hearts. Farhad's going to call queen 10. Barry's going to lay down ace 9. And Jason Capitani's going to call with 6-5. I like the fact that Barry laid down ace 9 there. Even though he would have hit the ace, he really would not have known where he was at. Everybody misses the flop. Actually, Mike had a pair, and he checked it, though. And he's let Farhad get there. I'm not quite sure why Mike would check that. And it checks again to Farhad, and he's going to bet his 10, and he's going to take this down, I bet. No, Mike's going to call.
Wow, Mike makes the call here.
And Mike played it pretty passively. And the river's an ace,
Yeah.
and it checks down, and Farhad gets there. And Mike kind of nods, probably upset at himself for not betting the flop, where he probably would have taken it down.
All right, Dave, we're into the first 50 minutes of the show. We had an email here from Jason Whitmore asking for us to update the first half an hour because of some of the streaming issues. So Mike is down a lot here. We're playing 10-20 no limit hold'em. The brown chips are $10 chips. The white chips are $100 chips. Again, going through an upgrade process. If you're having streaming problems, watch the. You can watch the replay, but it looks like everything is running smoothly right now. We've got about 2 hours left in the show. And let's start this thing. The button's going to move over here to seat 6.
Like I said, I had lunch with our technical staff. And they actually told me, they said, not only are we going to be having the upgrade soon, but it's going to be a great upgrade. So I'm really excited about that.
John's got ace-king here in seat 1. And it doesn't look like he's going to get any action here.
Well, he just showed quads. You show quads, you get respect.
Button's going to move over here to Jason Katsutani in seat number 7. You can email us, as always, at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Email here from James Rangel. Were there any big hands after the cameras went off in Wednesday's night whale game? And the grinder actually ended up $100 that night.
Yeah, he won $100.
And Kenna James had a winning session. Barry ended up about $6 grand. Again, I kind of made an extensive post over on 2+2 on Wednesday night's thread if you want to check that out. Barry Woods was kind of a little bit upset. He thought we were criticizing his play a little bit too much. Well, that's over on the official Live the Bike thread from March 22nd over on 2+2. Now look at this. Matt's got pocket queens here in seat 9. And Jason Katsutani's going to raise it up here with king 4 clubs on the button.
Yeah, Jason, you'll see Jason raise a lot on the button. And I think Matt's going to re-raise this.
No, Matt looks like he's just going to smooth call here. The problem here is that Farhad's probably going to call behind him, Dave.
Yeah.
And he does.
The problem with just calling Jason here is when he raises on the button, you really have no idea where he's at.
Right.
He could have 5-4, he could have king 4, he could have anything. He's not raising his cards, he's raising the position.
And here we go here. It's about a $300 pot. Wow, Matt's got 3 queens. Let's see if he's going to slow play a little bit. He flopped a set here. He's actually going to come out and bet, hoping that maybe somebody's got an ace.
Yep. Bet right into the razor. But like we said before, oftentimes Jason just doesn't have anything.
Right. And it's just probably going to go full. Wow, look at this. Jason's going to make a play. He's going to raise. Wow. Matt bet out, and Jason's going to raise. And let's see what Matt does here. Jason has raised it up 450 total. Matt bet out, it looked like maybe 100 or so, to about a $300 pot. He bet rather weak. And Matt's trying to figure out what he's going to do here. Looks like just a call, Dave. Let's see. And he does.
Now, how do you play this out of position here?
This is going to set alarms off, and Jason said the turn's an 8. Now Matt fills up. He's going to check. Oh, wow, and Jason looks like he's moving for chips here.
Wow.
Maybe he thinks Matt's got a weak ace.
Well, it might be exactly what he's looking for. This is just an ill-timed move here.
No, Jason's not going to bet. He kind of smiled there. And the river is another 8. And that would be great if Jason had an ace here, because 3 queens beats a lone ace, because it's queens full of 8s, as opposed to 8s full of aces. I think Matt needs to bet here.
Well, at this point, yeah, you're actually betting, hoping that your player is going to call you with an ace.
And he's going to bet out big. And look at that. Jason says queens are good, calls his hand. Unbelievable.
That's scary, huh? That's scary.
Yeah.
Queens are good.
That's what Jason says. Queens are good.
Well, you know what? Give Jason credit. He took a shot at the pot.
Yeah.
Realized he probably ill-timed move, and he said, okay, I'm not going to lose any more money at this.
Right.
He throws it away. But you know what? By betting there, he probably made as much money as he was going to make.
Right.
Maybe checks to Jason. Jason probably puts in a couple $100 bet.
Yeah.
You check raise, and that's the end of it anyway.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 8. That's Oliver.
Pocket 10s for Barry Woods.
Yep.
5-3 suited for seat number 1. And looks like seat 5 is raising it up.
He's going to raise with Jack 9 offsuit, and it looks like Barry is going to re-raise here with 10s. He makes it 180.
It went from $80 to 180. He kind of wants to thin the field a little bit.
Russ gets out with a King Jack, and we're going to see it heads up. Jack 9 offsuit against pocket 10s here. We know one of the jacks is dead, about a $360 pot, and what a horrible flop for 10s. Ace jack 4 here. But can Farhad really get involved? He's going to bet right in here.
Yep.
He bets 100, and I think Barry called him.
Wow.
Like it was nothing. Here we go to the turn. The turn's at 3.
And Farhad's going to continue betting 100 as if it was like,
Yeah.
well, 150 this time.
You bet
Almost
150.
Almost like limit hold'em.
Now Barry does have the 10 of clubs in his hand. He's going to fold, and Farhad's going to take it down there.
Yeah, he calls one time to see if Farhad would fire again.
Right,
Farhad
maybe Barry can represent an ace or something.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Also follow a live thread started on the internet at 2+2. Go to 2plus2.com spelled out. Click on forums, World Poker Tour, etc. Official Live at the Bike thread for March 24th.
I like the bet by Farhad. I don't know if he was actually thinking this or not, but oftentimes when somebody re-raises your raise, oftentimes they have a big pocket pair.
Right.
10s, queens, jacks, kings. Flop comes out with an ace. If you can represent that ace, you can usually get him off the hand, and that was pretty much that way. And in that case, actually, Farhad had the best hand. You wonder if Barry would have laid down kings or queens there.
Pocket 10s here for Barry Woods. And he's got the same hand he did last time, and he's going to re-raise Farhad again. Farhad raised it to 80. Now Barry made it 300 this time with 10s.
I said the 80 didn't work. I'm going to try it again.
And now Farhad's going to leave. Barry's going to take it down.
Twice in a row, 4 times.
Yeah?
Really interesting how Jason Katsutani snuffed out pocket queens there from
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that Matt played that hand, it really did demonstrate a lot of strength.
Right.
So you're almost going, man, I mean, he's either got like aces, queens, I mean, it almost looked like that. So
Right.
obviously really easy for us, not as easy for Jason.
Button's going to move over there to seat 1. That's John. He's got pocket 3s on the button.
It's always somewhat intimidating if you're playing a game. You ever played
Right.
a game with somebody and the guy actually tells you what you had? It's always a little bit intimidating.
And it looks like Jason here has just made a limp. He's just got a white chip out there, but it's a $20 call. Again, we're playing 10-20 no limit. John's just going to call here on the button with pocket 3s.
And Barry just brokered that deal between Farhad and Jason. I wonder if he got a commission.
5-way action here, Dave. It's a $100 pot. Matt's in there with ace rag. The flop comes out 9-5-8 with 2 hearts here. What a flop for Jack 10 of hearts. He's open-ended with the flush draw, and Farhad is going to bet.
That's the kind of flop where I have no problem putting all my money in the pot on that kind of flop. Huh?
He bets 100 here. Jason does not look like he's going to chase the black gut shot with overcards with 2 hearts on board. And Farhad is going to take it down there.
Yeah. Now, if somebody raises you there big, do you just call because you're big draw, or might you re-raise?
I guess, it's going to really depend on stack size, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
who's
What you
playing
really
it.
want.
But if somebody puts you to the test, obviously you have no problem putting your money in with Jack 10 of hearts on that kind of flop. And the only time sometimes a hand like that is scary is if you bet it, and say 4 or 5 people were to call you, and then a guy raises you, and you think that maybe somebody else behind you has a bigger heart draw than you have. And then you're obviously only drawing your straight draw. Pocket aces for Farhad here. Picks up a big hand again. And he is in the big blind because Steve Flicker is taking a break. And Russ is on the button with pocket 8s. So this is the old age question here. When a guy raises, and they're especially on the button here, and that's going to bring Mike in here, and Farhad's going to raise it up.
Yeah, he's got pocket rockets. And he's
How
going
much
to
is he gonna raise it?
Yeah, Russ was the pre-flop raiser here, right?
Yeah, he had 8s, and he made it $80. Call. And it looks like he's making it what? Another,
another 400. It looks 400 total here.
Yeah, $320 more, and he's going to take this down.
And he does take it down.
Once again, if you want to check out our website, go to liveatthebike.com. We've got a bunch of really cool features down the left-hand side.
Yep.
If we ever say something that you don't quite understand, you can either email us and ask us, or you can check out that site. Go to As Seen on Live at the Bike, and we have a bunch of terminology that's kind of refined. We also have my blog, which is Under the Gun. We also have our bios up there.
It looked like Johnny on 2+2 wrote that Ken actually wrote a little post in his website at KennettJames.com about Wednesday night. He said he was up about $9,000 from Wednesday night, so there you go.
He had a real good night.
Now we got pocket sixes here for Oliver, and Mike is going to raise here to 80 on the button. And Oliver's going to call. Can't see what Mike has over there. We're going to play this one blind. He's not showing his cards. All right, let's play this one dark. Why not? Jack 8-8 here. We do not know what Mike has.
Now he's raising the button.
Yep. He's going to make a continuation bet to 120. Oliver's not going to get involved.
What does that mean?
Right. Doesn't mean anything.
I mean, Mike could have anything from ace jack to, you know, the only thing I'm pretty sure he doesn't have is pocket jacks. Or an 8.
Right. Again, we are here live at the bike.
I would imagine pocket
10,
6
20,
is
no
probably
limit.
the best hand, though. We don't know, but I would imagine it is.
Yep. Button's going to move here to seat 5.
Now, this is my question for you. If you're out of position against Mike and you have pocket 6s there, would you call that?
Well, it's tough. I mean, if you're just trying to hit it in your set, we always talk about you don't know what Mike's raising with, so you can't necessarily get paid off.
Right. Might you just keep calling him down and hope he's bluffing?
Mike has pocket 6s, and he's going to raise to 80 here. Barry calls. Oliver's out of there. Now, John's got king, queen offsuit. He makes the call. Farhad's in there with 7-3 offsuit, and Barry's in there with 8-5 of clubs. Here we go. Ace-3 king here. John's got the best hand, but he's got king, queen. He gets checked over to Mike. Is he going to throw a bet out?
Okay.
He does not bet, Dave. Wow. Turn is an 8, and now let's see if John bets.
Barry's picked up a
Pair of 8s, and he's going to bet.
He's got to realize there is a chance that one of these players might have been, especially John, might have been checking an ace or a king,
Right.
hoping that Mike would bet.
Barry bets, John calls, and I can't believe this. Mike is going to overcall here with 6s. Wow. That's amazing.
I mean, are you calling there hoping you're 2 out of?
$130 pot. Farhad is going to double overcall with a bottom pair. Holy cow.
Well, John's in the lead, but he's got to dodge a lot of cards.
And the river's a 3, and Farhad makes trips on the river.
Oh,
that is unbelievable.
That was played.
Wow. Check, check, and Farhad's going to bet here, and he's going to bet 500.
Wow.
This is unbelievable stuff. He bets 500 here. Barry is going to fold. I mean, the pot is about 900. He bets 500 here.
Now the question is Farhad capable of making a bluff on the river like this?
Yeah.
You know, is my king good? What would he have? You know, you wouldn't put him on a 3, would you?
Right.
You wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't overcall a caller with a 3, would he?
John is going to fold.
And obviously pretty easy.
And look at this. Mike is going to call with pocket 6s. And he's going to turn over trip 3s for over a $1,500 winner there. That is unbelievable.
And Mike shakes his head.
Wow.
Because obviously the guy stuck out on Mike, but Mike had the 3rd best hand out of all of them.
I can't believe that Mike can overcall Barry's. You know, he can call Barry. Maybe he thinks Barry's full of it. But John, not only does he have fire behind him, but he's overcalling John from seat 1.
Yeah.
And John's played it tight all night long.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, would John be calling Barry's bet there with a hand worse than 6s?
I don't understand that play by Mike at all.
I mean, and then you're calling. Are you calling knowing you have the worst hand, hoping with a 6 for a 2-outer? And that was played almost like a 20-40 limit game.
Right.
Except it was a $130 bet. Call, 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 call.
Button's going to move over here to Barry Woods in seat 6.
I mean, it was really an odd play by Mike. Oftentimes, you'll see him actually raise that pot.
Yeah.
You'll see him just make it 600 and take it down.
Mike is going to raise here. He's going to make it 50 with kings, 6 of clubs. Farhad's going to call. We can see one card. He's got a jack, and Matt's in there with 8-10.
Yeah. 3 players, 5.
10-9 jack here. Pretty good flop from Matt. He's got a pair, and he's open-ended.
He's at the bottom end of it. You don't really want to catch the queen, though.
But look, Farhad's got jack 7 of clubs. He's got top here with a gut shot to the 8.
Yeah.
Mike continues on with the bet. Farhad's going to call, and Matt just saw what happened with Farhad. He's probably going to call in between.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Matt's hand here. When the queen comes up, he's got the bottom of the straight. How do you know if you're any good? There's also 2 hearts out there. I mean, you're almost looking for, you don't want 2 pair, obviously.
Right.
So you're looking for what? Maybe a 10 or 7? And it's got to be a black 7. I mean, I don't mind the laydown at all.
Yeah, he lays it down. And Farhad's in command of his hand right now. Turns an ace. Mike checks. And Farhad checks right behind him here, Dave. And the river here is an 8, and is Mike going to try to represent something that Farhad has? Well, and Mike checks, and Farhad's going to
bet the bottom end of the straight.
Yeah, he's got the bottom end of the straight. He couldn't beat a queen, obviously.
I guess when Mike checks for me, he figures, okay, my straight's good. Let me see if I can get paid off by 2 pair or 1 pair.
Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com with questions, comments, suggestions, as always. Button's going to move over here to seat number 8. That's Oliver.
It's always a fine line between looking like an idiot or a genius in poker, especially no limit hold'em. You know, if Mike is right there, after 2 people lay it down and Mike is right, we're going, wow, what a call by Mike.
Right.
The play on the river actually wasn't as confusing as the play on the turn.
Well, Farhad's got Queen Jack of Diamonds here. He's going to make it 80 from seat 5. Jason Katsutani posted from behind here. And Mike is down, like you said, about 7,000 or 8,000 here.
Yeah, he won 1 big pot off of, I want to say, what did he win that big pot right after he lost?
What was this? I'm getting up. Stop the bleed.
My memory is pocket 10s, thank you.
Yeah.
No, he lost the pocket 10s, he lost the quads.
Yeah. Mike said he's been running bad this week.
Has he?
Yeah. Mike is going to straddle here out of seat 4.
Well, you know, the thing about Mike is when he runs good, he can easily win 50,000 in a week.
Right.
And when he runs bad, obviously he can lose that and more.
Right. And Barry's going to raise it up here to 140. He's got Ace Jack of clubs. Oliver easily folds the Queen 10 of hearts. Oliver's pretty tight over there in seat 8 as well. And Mike is going to make the call. He's got 9-10 offsuit. And here we go with these two again. We're heads up. About a $300 pot. Oh, it misses both players here.
Yeah, Barry's still in command here, but...
And he's going to bet. He's going to make that pot-sized continuation bet, and he's going to take it down there.
Nice bet by Barry.
I got a massage from that particular masseuse there tonight, Dave. What a
Good.
job he did. Yeah. He does it hard.
Yeah,
I mean, get the pressure points, crack your back, get it, you know what I mean? Get it all out of your system.
Well, you're a big guy. I mean, you can take it hard, can't you?
Button's going to move over here to seat 1.
What? Did I say something wrong? Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. Politically incorrect.
How was your wife's birthday yesterday, Dave?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You went country line dancing?
Yes, I did.
Button's going to move over here to seat 1. And Mike he's straddling again because Flicker just came into the blind. So he straddled twice in a row here.
Yeah.
And Katsutani here is going to raise it up. He's got the That's Allen hand, 6-3 of hearts. He's raising Mike's straddle. Steve easily gets away from ace-10. Russ does not call with the suited connector, and Mike is out of there, and we do not see a flop. That is trademark Jason Katsutani there with that fan on him. Again, the other player that we talked about, kind of the mole of existence, Robert Roeder. Anybody familiar with him?
He is such a mole.
In tournament play, he carries a fan around too. And the Greek, send it to Armenia, Chris Gregorian uses it too as well.
Chris is a nice guy,
Yeah.
though. I mean, he's just a big guy and he's a fan.
Right. But Robert Roeder, oh
Yeah.
boy.
He's just...
If anybody's familiar.
I wonder if he's just like a trust baby. Because, I mean, I tell you, I've never seen him win.
Yeah.
He plays like every tournament, always loses. I mean, actually, the guy sucks. He does. I played with him. He's terrible.
Well, he was in the 10-20 no limit game last night, Dave. I know you'd love to get a piece of him, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's not personal.
Right.
I don't really know him. I'm just talking about in terms of, he just looks kind of so slimy, doesn't he?
Farhad is raised here, or he's straddled, and Mike is raised in the big blind. He made it 140, and Farhad is called, and we're heads up between the big blind and the straddler. Here we go. Oh, wow, and Mike swapped top pair, and Farhad's got a piece of it. $200 bet by Mike and a quick call by Farhad. 2 hearts on board here. The turn's an ace. Mike bets 400 now.
Can Farhad,
I think the ace has scared him away here, Dave.
yeah. Good bet by Mike. Oftentimes players will get scared by the ace.
Right.
Check it. Then Farhad checks behind him and then watches 6 or 7 come on the river and you bemoan your bad luck.
I mean, again, everybody at the table, pretty good players, pretty observant of that suck out that Farhad with the trick threes. Again, the kind of the double over call with the bottom pair. Man,
That's
that was amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing. Bud's going to move over here to Flicker in seat 3.
You know it's coming, you should have raised.
Pocket queens here for Barry Woods. He's under the gun, and he's going to bring it in for a $120 raise. You can't. Now, Mike's got King 3 of diamonds in the small line. You think he's going to make this call, Dave?
Right here, 100.
Against Barry? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Dutch auction.
And he does make the call, of course. And Farhad's going to come in between. You can't see what he has.
But it's kind of interesting. You've got Mike and Barry, and you've got this calling station between the two of them.
He's got Queen Jack. And here we go to the flop, about a $360 pot. Well, Farhad's got a gut shot, and Barry's got the overpair.
Check.
Again, it's about a $360 pot.
And I love Barry betting here. Watch Barry put a little money in there. And he might get Mike to fold, but he also might get Mike to make a move on you.
He's going to bet 300. He's going to bet a little under the pot.
And this is the question. Does Mike make a move?
And Mike is going to make a move. You called it, Dave.
I swear. These guys, it's like...
He's going to make it 500 more.
And that's why you bet your hand. That's one of the reasons you bet your hand.
And Mike tells Barry, pocket 7's no good. And I have a feeling Barry's not going anywhere here.
How about a smooth call here,
Yeah.
and then you raise the turn? Remember, if he's got Jack 10, he needs your queen to make
Right.
straight. Or a 7.
How much you got left there?
He's asking Mike how much he has left.
Well, in,
$12.50.
well, in that case, why not just call and get 1,200 later?
No, he's just going to move all in.
Okay, that's the way to play it, too.
Yep.
Lets Mike off the hook. He throws it away.
Mike shows him the King 3.
Yes, you could be King 3.
Barry's going to show him Queens.
And that's one of the reasons you bet your hand against a player like Mike or
Right.
a player like Jason, because they're liable to think you're weak and they'll
Right.
make a move. If you don't bet, you don't give them a chance to make a move.
Up with, man. Jesus Christ.
Button's going to move over here to seat 4. Corporation Mike.
Had a pair of sevens
Obviously,
once, a
nothing
pair of
wrong
sixes
with playing
once.
it that way. Barry might have scared himself out of the pot. Let's say a 9 comes out or 7 comes out, and then you scare yourself out of the pot.
There's a whole lot of
Ace King of Diamonds here, it looks like, for Farhad
two queens that become ace and
in seat number 5. And he's in the small blind. Ace Queen of Hearts for Barry Woods in the big blind, Dave.
Barry's on fire. The way he's running right now, the flop will probably come out. It won't even come out of the queen. It'll come out King Jack 10, so he gets money from Farhad.
Russ is limped in. Mike is limped in. We need to see Russ's cards. $80 raise here by Farhad. Barry calls. Russ has got, looks like pocket... Is it 7? Pocket 7s, okay.
I might as well call some.
And Mike's in there with 10-6 of
Hey,
clubs.
look at Mike. I might as well call. Why the hell not?
$350 pot when the flop comes up. King 3-5. Good flop here for Farhad.
Yeah, not only has he hit it, but nobody else didn't got anything.
And he's going to bet 250 here.
This is pretty straightforward.
Barry still did well.
Bet, fold, fold, fold.
Not a good flop, obviously, for Ace Queen when a king comes up. King rag rag.
Yeah, there's only one heart out there. Now, the interesting thing, if somebody else had 7s, like, say, Jason Katsutani or somebody like that, they might even play this flop. But it's Russ.
Right.
And I think he gets away from it. What's Barry thinking about?
I don't know, man.
I tell you, I mean, Barry plays good poker like
Right.
80% of the time, and then we get on him like the other 10 or 15%
Right.
there is, and he always gets on us for getting on him. But it's plays like this. What the heck are you wasting our time for?
Did you explain to him? I mean, I wrote a detailed
I did.
post, and he just did. I guess he didn't buy it. Did he
No,
buy
no.
it from you when you explained
I
it?
talked to him. He actually gave me an answer,
Yeah.
and his answer made no sense.
Okay.
But he actually acknowledged that I was probably right, and you
Yeah.
were probably right.
Yeah, we were talking about a hand on Wednesday night that it happened with Barry with Ace Queen against the Grinders Pocket Jacks. Farhad's going to take this one down.
I don't know what Barry was waiting for there.
I mean, Barry made an overcall. The board came out King, Queen, 10 with 2 diamonds. Tight Paul led. The Grinder had raised pre-flop, called with Pocket Jacks. And Barry overcalled with Ace Queen. The turn was a great card for Barry. It was a queen. He led out. The Grinder, Paul folded. The Grinder just then said, oh, I've got Kings full. I raise. I didn't really buy the Kings full because it was
Right.
a really coordinated board. I might have thought maybe a possibility the Grinder playing Ace Jack of Diamonds in that manner.
Okay.
Okay. So, but when Barry calls the turn, he has to think his hand is good if he calls the turn, Dave, to
Yeah.
make that call. And then there was just no reason for the bet on the river if you think your hand's good, because the river brought an inconsequential blank card.
Yeah, I gotta throw this at you though. It's the funniest thing. I go. So what was going on? He goes. Well, I didn't know if I was good or not. I go, okay. So what was the $4,000 bet on the river? He goes, it was an informational bet. I go, so if the guy re-raised you 4,000 more all in, you would have thrown it away. He goes, oh, I don't know. I go, then what information were you trying to get?
Four-way action here. King 10-8 with a couple diamonds.
Oliver's got the best hand here, but whoever bets is probably going to take it.
Checked around here, Dave. Here we go to the turn. It was limped around pre-flop. Turns an 8. Changes nothing.
Yeah, Oliver's still got the best hand. At this point, Oliver's got to know his hand is probably good. Somebody probably would have bet a king.
Well, Barry's going to make a small little bet with pocket deuces here. And Oliver's going to call. Is Barry just going to give up on it here, Dave?
Against that player, I think you should.
And the river's an ace.
Well, unless you want to use that card as possibly you want it to represent you had diamond draw, ace high diamond draw. Well, Barry's not going to.
He does not follow through.
He said to me, he goes, well, I wasn't quite sure if I was good or not. And I go, okay. He goes, I thought there was like 60% I was good, 40% no good, maybe 50-50. I go, okay. And then I tried to explain to him, I go, well, by betting the 4,000, you're not going to get called by a hand that you can beat.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And you're certainly not going to get a hand that's better than yours to fold, are you? And he goes, yeah, you're right. And he said, but I didn't want to check and then be faced with a big bet. He goes, to be honest, he goes, it was a big pot. I was just happy with taking it down. I was kind of scared. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
I said, okay, hey, you know, it's not every day you're involved in a $20,000 pot.
Flicker's got pocket jacks here in C3, and he's going to raise.
Wow, in C9, Matt has got ace-king.
130?
Ace-king suited.
In the big blind. Flicker's going to make it 130, and I think Barry's going to make this call with king-jack of hearts here. He's on the button.
Now, this is the first hand Flicker has raised all day. What do you give him credit for? An early position, raising it up with jacks.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, I think I just mock king-jack here, even if I am, unless I can represent
something.
But
what does Matt do in the big blind here against Flicker?
Well, I think it's a smooth call.
Smooth call, right?
Yeah. You don't necessarily give Barry credit for anything for his call. Wow, Matt folds the ace-king suited. Wow, that's unbelievable.
No interest in getting involved with a hand with Steve Flicker there. Wow.
So we're heads up here. King-jack of hearts against jacks. Oh, boy, and the case-jack flops. And Barry isn't going anywhere. I got to tell you, we know him.
And this is happy times. I got to tell you, though.
And Flicker bets right out with top set. He bets 240 here.
To me, this is an easy laydown anyway. You've got to look at it and go, Steve's probably, I wouldn't even put him on jacks here, but I'd put him on aces or kings.
Would he bet tens like this? Well, Barry's going to make the call here, Dave, and the pot is about $800 as we head to the turn. Well, the turn's a queen. It gives Barry straight draw outs now.
Well, now you can't beat, you can beat nothing. I mean, come on. What can you beat?
I was going to say, boy, Barry would really get involved if the king came on the turn, Dave.
Oh, yeah. And Barry's not drawing dead, by the way. Barry can catch a 10 to win this pot. What a bad beat that would be. And we're going to see an $800 bet from Steve here. And give Barry credit here. He is playing the player. If this was Mike, he probably would have raised already.
Right.
But against Steve, he thinks there's a good chance that Steve might have kings or aces. Obviously, always hard to put him on jacks here. And look at this, he's going to lay it down.
Yep.
Nice laydown by Barry, paying attention to the player you're playing against. And obviously, I mean, look at the respect Steve Flicker gets. Matt, he laid down ace-king suited in the big blind to a raise from Steve Flicker.
We had an email here from DS saying that he posted something on another forum and he wants our critique of it, and we will read that. Again, when people post us and email us long things, Dave, we can't necessarily read it on the air. Yeah.
Obviously, some nights are a little slower than others. This is one of our bigger games, so got to pay attention.
Email here from Farhad. He says, I don't need much in the way of poker advice, but I do have a question for you, Mr. Commentator. If I'm fixing to play cards while inebriated, should I be drinking Newcastle, Guinness, or Jägermeister? I checked out your blog and thought you might be the authority on this, among other topics. Please advise, Dave. Jason Katsutani is going to bring this one in for a raise with King 8 offsuit.
Well, Ray is voting for Nuki.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Guinness, though. I got to go with the Guinness. It's nice and smooth.
Yeah, that was fun on Friday. John is going to make the call here with pocket 9.
Thanks for the email. Appreciate it.
And here we go to the flop. Well, ace-6-5. Now, if Jason bets here, is he going to take it down? Or is John going to come out and lead here with one overcard? He bets. And Jason's out of there.
You know, it's nice bet there by John.
Yep. Email here from Philip Gogler. He says, I've always been curious, can you straddle a straddle? And no, you are not allowed to do that here.
Right.
at
Some
the bike.
casinos you can do that.
Yeah.
There's such things as called a Mississippi straddle, but we do not allow that in this casino.
Right. As we do not allow straddles in the limit games in this casino. I mean, you can do a blind raise, but you will not have the option.
Right, that's blind raising you can always do.
Button's going to move over here to seat 9. That's Matt. What a lay down with ace-king suited pre-flop, Dave, in the blind.
You know, I'd love to get into a topic on that one. Because some people go, well, if you're going to lay down ace-king suited there, why are you even playing in the game? But is that a hand you really want to get involved with? Now, I would have called when Barry called. But I might not have called Steve heads up. There's not much to implied odds against him.
Barry raises it here with Jack 7 of spades, and he takes it down.
One thing great about no limit hold'em is you can pick your opponents. You don't necessarily have to, try to get action against Steve Flicker. Now, when Barry calls in between, I'm going to call, and hey, if a king comes off, Steve's not going to pay you off.
Right.
But Barry might, because Barry had King Jack.
Well, luckily for Barry, King didn't come on the turn that hand, Dave.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Straddle here by Corporation Mike. In seat 4, the button's over in John's hand in seat 1. Call here. John just limps in with Queen 9 of hearts here, open limp on the button. And we are going to see this one 3 ways here. Seat 5's in there with ace 10. Here we go. It's a $120 pot here, 7-3 deuce. Mike's going to flush draw here.
Get a couple of diamonds. He's going to bet right out, 140 into the pot.
That's probably going to be enough here because no one really has anything else here.
It's a nice bet.
Yeah.
John's got nothing. I don't know what he's thinking about, really. Maybe he's thinking of making a move here, but now he's going to throw it away.
Ready, Donna?
Button's going to move over here to seat 2.
Once again, you're watching Live at the Bike, folks. I'm David Tuckerman here with Bart Hanson. You're watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 10 and 20 tonight.
Looks like we're going to get another setup here.
I got to ask you a question during the little lull while we do a setup here.
Yep.
It was funny. The other night, I want to say Sunday night, I was up about 5,000 at one point. And I get up to go to the bathroom. And Greg, the floor man, comes over to me and goes, yo, man, you got to go home now, right? Go home. And I'm like, why? And he's like, no, you don't want to give it back. Go. And I find that so interesting. It's like, I always find it really funny when people say that to you, like, as if it were just like, this is a session, Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I agree with, what Barry Greenstein says and some of the top poker players that say that you want to have your longest sessions when you're winning and you've got a great table image, and you want to cut your sessions short when you're losing and you might be forcing it a little bit, right?
Right. It was just so funny that he would say, you're going to give it back. And I tried to explain to him, I was like, no, listen, it's all one long session. I was like, if I win 5 tonight or 12 tonight, or if I lose 3 tonight, it's all one session. I want to be playing when the game is the best and I'm at my best.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, but you're up 5. Go home.
Right.
And what really annoyed me was that he actually was right, and I ended up giving about $1,400 of it back. And he said, see? A lot of Broadway out there. King, Queen, Ace, Jack, Jack 10, King, Queen.
120.
We get a $120 raise here in seat 8 with King, Queen.
Wow, we haven't seen Oliver raise all day.
Yeah, I guess an ace.
Except when he had jacks before.
Right.
Got a call here by Mike. He's got 4-5 off suit. Seat 5 is going to call Farhad with Jack 10.
I mean, you look at the hands that are out there. I actually like Mike's hand.
4 players.
We're going to see 4-way action here.
Sure enough, there it is.
5-3-3. Mike's outflopped everyone. He's going to check it from up front here, Dave.
Well, obviously, he knows that's not a monster. Somebody could... Wow,
Farhad's just going to make a stone-cold bluff at it with Jack 10. He's going to bet 150.
But it's very easy for somebody to have pocket 7s, pocket 9s, anything.
They used to call the 4 the dealer's ace.
And if the board is paired here, it's actually not a great flop for Mike. Because if he catches his 4, he doesn't know if it's any good.
Right.
Somebody could easily still have him out kick 7s and 3s.
Mike makes the call here as we move to the turn. The turn's of 4. Well, Mike's got top 2 pair now.
And like I pointed out, that does not really help his hand against pocket 7s.
Check, check, and the river's a 7. and it's going to get checked down. Or it doesn't help his hand against Jack 10, Dave, because if a Jack or a 10 to come forward, it would have the best
Exactly.
hand. And Mike takes it down there with 4-5. And you can email us at live@thebike.com with your questions, comments, suggestions. As always, we do appreciate it. We're about halfway through the show now. Playing 10-20 no limits.
I was actually playing a hand the other day. I had 5-4, actually. And the flop comes out 9-5-4, right? The guy, I actually bet into him. He just calls me. The turn comes out a 9, and I'm sitting there going, man, there's nothing I can go for. I'm sorry, here we got a chip count.
Let's take a look at the chip count here. Over $33,000 on the table. Barry in the chip lead. Let's take a look at the differences. Barry up 5,000. And I got to cut away from this real quick because we've got aces and kings pre-flop here.
Yeah, and this is Mike with aces and John with kings.
And John is raised here. And if Mike makes a re-raise, he might get all of John's money. And Mike does re-raise to 200 here. And let's see how John is going to play it.
But can you give Mike credit for aces here? I mean, the way Mike plays?
And look at this. He moves all in. John's going to move all in for 800 or 900. And Mike's got aces.
Yeah.
And he hasn't called yet.
All in and a call.
Oh, he has called. There we go.
Called right away.
Here we go to flop. Queen 4-4. Nope. Turns a 10 here. John's got the king of clubs in his hand, though. Oh. And the river's a 9. Wow.
All right, picked up some outs there, huh?
Yeah.
9 clubs.
Unbelievable.
And, 9 clubs and then 2 kings.
Yeah.
One call. Ace of clubs obviously was no good. That would have given Mike a full house.
Right.
You're right, it is unbelievable.
Anyway, I was going to say, so I had 5-4. The flop comes out 9-5-4. I bet the guy calls me and actually flashes me a 9. The turn comes out a 9. Okay? I check it. He checks it behind, right? And I'm like, oh, what? I'm ready to just throw my hand away, right?
Yeah.
The turn, the river comes out a 4. And it just adds insult to me. I'm like, come on.
Right.
So I fill up on the river, but obviously it's no good.
2,000 behind, 2001.
He intentionally flashed you a 9?
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a very good 9, so he
Yeah.
was scared of it. Then the river comes out a 4, and I'm going, oh.
Yeah. Mike's on the button here.
I haven't been here.
And Mike is going to raise here to 80. He's got ace-8 offsuit. John is going to rebuy here for 2,000 in seat 1.
Call the 80.
And Katsutani's going to come in here. He's going to call. Oh, excuse me. No, he's not. I thought he said call.
Oliver called, though.
Yeah.
John called.
And John did call.
Russ called.
He's at 2,000.
Steve Flaker called.
So 6 ways here times 80, about a $500 pot. Wow. Mike the pre-flop raiser, but he's the only one with an ace here, Dave. Here we go. 7-4 deuce, couple hearts. Kind of missed everybody.
Hey, John's got the flush draw. King high flush draw.
Checked around.
I think Russ though is the best hand. And Russ does not bet. He's somewhat late position with 5s.
And Mike is going to bet. He's going to bet 380 here.
Now, how do you play this if you're John?
Yep, if you're John, what do? He's got a flush draw, a king high flush draw to the board. He's 2,000 behind here, folks.
Now, if John bet the flop,
And look at this, John just gets away from it. And Russ here is going to check raise. He's going to check raise with pocket 5s. He's going to make it 900 to go.
he takes that nice play by Russ.
Mike is quickly out of there.
Real nice play by Russ. I was wondering why Russ actually didn't bet the 5s.
Right.
I guess he was looking for the check raise and to see how everybody else played it. The only thing I'm curious now, John plays king 3 of hearts. What exact flop are you looking for?
Well, John hadn't played that type of hand, that up and down suited hand all night, and he might kind of be tilting a little bit from the previous hand. We always talk about a lot of money is won and lost through scheming.
Yeah. Keep your emotions out of the game. So you think maybe he was scheming when he called the raise.
Yeah.
And then he caught himself before he put more money in there?
Possibly. But like you said, king 3 of hearts. What are you looking for?
I mean, if he actually bets out of the flop right into Russ and Mike, he probably wins the pot.
Call.
Obviously, easier said than done.
Call, limp here. And Mike's going to raise. He's going to make it 60 with king 6 offsuit. Seat 5's going to call with a 6-7. Now, Jason Katsutani's got king 9 of diamonds. He makes the call. And John calls with ace jack.
Well, the odds of a king coming out are pretty slim.
And so does Flicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $300 pot. Mike the pre-flop raiser with king 6. Here we go. One king left here, Dave. 9, 5, 8 with a couple of hearts.
Wow.
And look at 6, 7. He's flopped a straight.
Yeah, and Jason's got top pair with backdoor diamonds.
And if Farhad bets out the straight, how is Jason going to play it? And Farhad looks like he is going to bet with the straight.
And Mike did not bet.
Yeah. Farhad's going to bet 350 here, and what is Jason going to do? He's going to make the call, it looks like.
Yeah, now, if Mike had bet, I think Jason probably would have raised him.
You mean Farhad?
Oh, no, I'm
right.
saying if Mike had actually followed through and bet, and Farhad didn't have 6-7, now Jason's going to raise that player, not him.
And Mike gets away from it. So we're heads up here 6-7 against King 9. The turn's an ace.
And Mike is, I don't think Jason's very deep, is he?
Jason checks. And Farhad's going to bet again here.
And no hesitation in him at all. I mean, he has the nuts here.
Bets 900.
Where you been?
And Jason, again, Jason plays that kind of rammer to jammer, loose aggressive play, but he's really a good player. Look at the ability for him to read hands.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen him make really bad calls on this show? He hasn't been on in a while, but
Yeah, I've seen him occasionally scheme a little
Right,
bit,
right.
but he hasn't been on in a while, like you said.
right.
And he pays attention to who he's playing against. He really does.
We're about halfway through the show here, folks. Doing 10-20 no limit here on Live at the Bike. It's Friday.
I mean, I kind of compare Farhad in a way to Allen, where he might call with pretty much anything. And if he's
Right.
calling, he's probably not strong. But if he's raising you or betting, he's probably got something pretty good.
Yep. Seat 5 here is the cutoff. Barry Woods has got the button in seat 6. Limp here by seat 1.
120.
And we got a $120 raise here by Mike. Katsu Tiny folds. But John is going to call with a suited ace-8, and he is dominated
And
here.
that if an ace comes off, you wonder if he's going to get in total trouble.
King 6-5, well, it's a miss.
Check, bet, fold,
Yep.
you assume? And Mike has raised, what, about 8 out of 10 hands here?
And look at this, it might even induce a player like John. He's not going to call with ace-5. I want to ask Isaac there if we can get a shot of Jason Katsutani's chips over there in seat 7. Getting word that he might be hiding.
Well, hiding?
Yeah, there it is. That's a $5,000 chip from that other casino.
Which does play here.
Yeah, that does play. Yep.
So he's
There it
actually
is.
about $6,000
Yep.
deep. We thought he was pretty short. And I was wondering, because Jason usually doesn't like to play these games short.
Right.
Since he plays so many speculative hands.
Button's going to move over here to Jason in seat 7. You wonder if the people at the table are privy to that information. You're supposed to have those big chips out so everybody can see them.
Yeah.
You know, listen.
Well, Jason's got ace-jack here, but Barry's going to raise it with queen 10 off suit. Now, is Jason going to re-raise?
He likes to play
He
in
just
positions.
calls. Pocket 10s here for Matt. He makes the call.
Just leave your address, but here's a million.
Oliver does not get involved with that weak ace.
And we've got about a $360 pot here going 3 ways. Barry is the pre-flop raiser with the worst of it. Queen 10. Here we go to the flop.
All right, all right.
Jack 7-4 here. Now, what is Matt going to do with 10s? Katsutani's flopped the best hand. Matt checks.
Yeah, it's tough, I mean, you know.
Is Barry going to make that continuation bet? He bets 280. Let's see what Jason's going to do here.
That'll probably save Matt when Jason either calls or raises.
Looks like Jason's just going to call.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I think Matt is going to let it go here.
I mean, if Barry's bluffing,
Yeah.
you're in position. If Barry's bluffing, you're not going to get any more money.
$900 to the turn, and now Jason's got top 2, and Barry picks up a straight draw.
Yeah.
And Barry might still bet, trying to think maybe the guy's got a jack and I'm going to fire out with an ace.
Exactly. If you put him on Queen Jack or King Jack, maybe the ace is a scared card.
He checks. Again, it's a $900 pot here.
And Jason's going to bet it. I love
Yeah,
it.
Katsutani's going to bet here.
How many times do you see the players slow play this?
He's going to bet 300. He's only betting 1/3 of the pie here. Now, Barry has outs to a king.
And if he catches a king, he might make a lot of money.
Now, is this a little bet inducing possibly Barry to check raise it? He's bet real weak here on the turn, in position.
I think it might be. Good analysis of that one.
Now, there is a 2 flush out there, but you are heads up. And you don't know what Jason has.
I'm okay.
I know, Barry's only got queen high here. He's kind of in a situation to go, do I call now? He's not
Yeah, he's going to get
call
rid of it there, Dave.
He had 3 outs, obviously. And the river would have been a queen. And you wonder if that would have sucked him in. If he, you know what I mean? One of those, if he made a bad call,
Right.
a mistake begets a mistake. The queen comes in the river, then he checks it. Jason bets, say, 500 in the river and gets paid off.
Right.
Never give up. Are you still in? Never give up.
Button's going to move over here to seat 8. Yeah, there's Mo. I think Mo's actually playing the tournament tonight, Dave.
He's still in. Good for him. Hopefully he wins it. Now we've got a serious question from Farsi. Far, I guess his name is? Far 81.
Get to that in a second here. Limp, limp, limp. Barry's going to limp. And it's going to be limped around.
Mike.
Mike did not raise. And Russ is going to check it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 players here. $120 pot going. Ace, 9, king. Russ has got top and bottom. You checked it, Dave.
Wow, and look at this. Oliver's got bottom 2 pair. He's got king 9.
He's going to bet 200. How is Russ going to play it? There's 2 spades out there. Russ has the ace of spades. It looks like he's going to check raise. He's going to make it 500 now. Now, bottom 2 pair. What would Russ possibly be checking raise? Could he check raise with ace queen here, ace jack?
Well, how about ace queen or ace jack of spades? Or ace 10 of spades?
And Oliver's kind of short. He's going to move the rest all in.
And I think it's an easy call, obviously.
And Russ is going to make the call.
And Oliver's in terrible shape here.
He needs a king.
He needs a king and only a king. Russ even has the ace of spades.
Turns a king!
Oh, man.
And the river's an ace! And Russ is going to take it down.
Oh,
My!
man.
Wow! Aces full of kings beats kings full of aces. That is unbelievable.
Well, you know what? It just makes Oliver's story sound better. Because now he can lie and tell people, I put it all in on the turn when I had kings full of 9s.
Right. Oh, man.
Oh.
Obviously, if the hand got to the turn there and both players had money, ace-9 is absolute garbage.
Oh,
Now the kicker
completely.
doesn't play.
It's aces and kings with a 9 kicker. That's
Right.
it. Can't even beat a real ace.
And Oliver's out of there.
Man, I tell you, it's bad enough to flop 2 pair and
Right.
lose 2, top 2 pair. 2 pair over 2 pair.
Yep.
But then to actually catch your card and still lose.
Yep.
That just sucks.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Button's going to move over here to seat 9. And Matt's going to move over to seat 8. So we're going to get a new player in seat 9 here.
40 to call.
Interesting post here by Jay Siegel on 2+2. It says, Dave, I think the leave while you're ahead plan applies to negative expected value casino games. If you don't have an exit strategy that allows you to leave when you're ahead, then you never end up having a winning session in those types of games. So there you go. People who play poor poker try to apply this rule to poker. And the cards will even out if you're bad, and the results will
Makes sense,
eventually
of course, yeah.
catch up. Just go. Constantine race here with ace-queen,
Oh, he's
and
hit it.
Barry call with pocket deuces.
Imagine this is probably going to go, well, I never know with Barry.
Look at this. Barry looks like he's going to bet. And he does. He's going to bet, looks like about half the size of the pot. He bets he bets 260 here. A little under the size of the pot. And Jason's going to call in position. Sometimes you talk about calling in position, Dave.
Yeah.
Here we go to the turn. Turns a 9. And Barry's going to bet out again. Wow, he's going to bet 800. He's going to bet the pot here.
Calling the 8.
And look at this. Katsutani throws that $5,000 chip out and he calls. And the river's a 6.
Oh,
One
man.
line or two is straight now.
Yeah, but can you put your opponent on a 5 or a 10 here?
And I think Barry's checked. And Jason checks right behind him, and he's going to take down a $2,000 pot there with ace-queen. Wow.
Would have been really interesting.
Right.
What happens if Barry bets 2,500 on the river there? Bets the pot.
Yeah.
Can Jason call it? I mean, he's really got to replay the hand in his head, and does a 10 make sense? Can my 1 pair with only a queen kicker be good?
You can't beat 2 pair. You can't beat a straight. So this emails, I've had situations in live play where my better raise is called by the opponent, who then quickly turns up his or her hand before waiting to see mine. Do you think it's appropriate or justifiable to slow roll such individuals who don't seem to be aware of the rules of a showdown?
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to slow roll somebody there. If somebody wants to quickly, at the end of the river, basically it's showdown time. If somebody wants to show me his cards out of turn, I have no problem with that because that way if I'm behind, I can actually muck my hand without showing anybody. So I see what Jay Siegel was talking about. Obviously, if you're up $3,000 in blackjack or craps, hey, be happy and go have dinner.
Limped around here 4 ways. King, Queen, 9 on the flop.
I think Jason's got the best hand with Queen 3. Well, not anymore. Seat 5's got trip 9s.
Yep.
Farhad's got trip 9s.
And he's going to come out and bet.
Yeah, pretty predictable.
120.
He bets 120. Jason's trying to figure out here. Jason actually has Queen 3, not Jack 3. And he's trying to figure out, is he going to raise here, Dave? He is going to raise. Wow. In Farhad, we know he's not going anywhere.
That's the one thing with Jason's game, and Jason does have a pair there. He's queens and 9s with a king kicker. The one thing with Jason's game, he'll rarely call unless he thinks he's ahead. He's raising this to either take it down or to get some information.
And I think Farhad's going to re-raise here to 500.
And Jason's going to quickly throw it away. I'm pretty sure.
You want to go 380 plus?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Jason folds. And Farhad is going to take it down there.
Now you see Jason calling with the ace queen there. Pretty sure he had the best hand, I think. The reason he was calling Barry in the previous hand. But this time he raised it to try to get some information. Might also raise if he has the. He might also raise if he wants to get more money in the pot with the nuts. No, better hand, obviously. It was funny. I was actually talking to somebody and they said, "Hey, you can't be a successful poker player unless you know how to do the hit and run." And I don't know. I mean, to me, I've always kind of been in a situation where. And I'll get to that in a second. Russ actually makes it $80 to go. You can't see his hand, though. And Russ has got pocket deuces. A couple of ducks. And Mike's going to call with 5-3. How about like a deuce 4-6 flop here? Well, there's a 3, and Mike's ahead. But how does he know that? Flop is ace 7-3. A couple of diamonds. Mike checks, and Russ bets. And Mike calls. Wow, the pot is quickly 500. Turns a 10. And if Mike checks here again and Russ follows through with a nice $400 or $500 bet, I don't think Mike can call with this. He's got 3 5s. And he's going to throw it away. Nice continuation bet by Russ. You know, I've really been hard on Russ's game over the last couple of weeks, but he stepped up his game tonight a little bit, and I really think he's playing well. We saw him check raise Mike earlier with pocket 5s, take down a big pot, about an $800 pot. And here we see him following through with his betting heads up, taking advantage of position. Well played by Russ. Anyway, I was going back to that. Talking about taking the hit and runs, to me, if you are in a game, and as long as the game is a good game, and you have your wits about you, I mean, you're not tired, you're playing well, you have a good table image, why not stay? Obviously, if the game changes, the game becomes much tougher, or you're getting tired, well, those are reasons to go home.
Sounds like Alphabet John. So they said, what do you want to be? Their name.
Barry Greenstein actually said the 20% rule to me. He was telling me how oftentimes, let's say, for example, I'm up 10,000 and I give 20% of that back, and now I'm only up 8,000. At that point, I might get up and leave. Steve's going to raise this in late position with ace-king. Makes it $100 to go, and the only caller is Jason Kapitani. And we're seeing this heads up. Actually, no, I take that back. Mike is also called with Jack-8. Pot is 3 ways. Flop is 7-4 deuce. And
Jason's outflopped everybody.
With Jack deuce.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you're calling Steve's raise with Jack deuce. I mean, I guess you're looking for 2 deuces there, hoping that Steve's got like pocket kings.
It's checked around to Mike, and he's going to bet here with Jack-8. He bets 260. Is Jason going to get involved here? He makes the call with bottom pair. Wow.
Well, he's in great shape. I mean, he's sharing Mike's Jack. And Steve throws away ace king, doesn't even get involved. He doesn't even do the continuation, but he just throws it away.
Pot's about $900. The turn's a 4.
Jason
checks, and Mike's going to bet again.
What?
7.
You got to pay to draw.
He bets 700. And this is going to test Jason's reading skills here.
Yeah. Now we saw earlier, Jason had no problem laying down top pair. And he's pretty good at reading players.
Oh, he's not going to get involved. The other problem, too, you know, with the deuce there, Dave, is that any card on the river, you just have no idea where you're at. You know? And Mike shows some Jack 8 offsuit. There you go.
Jack 8?
The only reason I think you're calling Steve's raise there is you're hoping he's got aces or kings, and you're hoping to hit trip deuces.
Yeah.
But even if you hit trip deuces, are you really going to get paid? I don't even know.
22 Skidoo here is written up on 2+2. It's good to see Jason again. He just joined the show here. He remains the hero / villain of the single funniest non-poker moment of the show. What is he referring to? Oh, when he refused the interview, Dave. I went out and tried to interview him and he refused.
Really?
Yeah, that was over at the old table. Wow. That's right. I won't interview with you. He won that freeze out.
And would not do the interview.
Wow. I don't know where you stand.
No, because I got a big tell on you.
Gee, really? Is that why you bucked that hand?
Jason's telling Mike he's got a big tell on him.
It's a hell of a tell.
And Mike's giving him shit. Why did you muck the hand then? Mike's got ace 10. He's going to raise here again. And Farhad's going to call. Mike just made it 50 to go, and he's going to get 4 callers. Barry, Farhad, and Jason. 4-way action, $200 pot. Here we go. Jack, deuce, jack. Well, Barry's got a flush draw, and Jason's got trip jacks. And it looks like Katsudani's going to bet real weak into the pot. Well, he actually spent 150.
And that flop comes one too late, because Mike had jack 8 in the last hand, and Katsudani had jack deuce.
And Mike is going to call here. He's going to call with ace 10. And that might bring Barry in here. But if Barry catches the 10 of hearts, well, actually, the 10 of hearts is dead. I was going to say Jason would fill up. Here we go to the turn. The turn's a heart, and Barry gets it. And what is he going to do here, Dave?
He normally bets it when he makes it. You see that when he has trip queens earlier.
He bets 300.
And can you call this with Jack 10 hoping to pair the board?
Yep, he's going to make the call, and Mike is out of there.
Now, obviously, you don't want a deuce or a 5. You want a 10.
But $1,000 pot. Here we go to the river. The river's a 5, and Jason's filled up.
Now, that'll do it, but you won't get paid by Barry here.
But look at this. Barry's going to bet out again. He's going to bet 800 here.
I can't imagine you getting... When Jason raises this, though, I can't imagine...
And he's going to raise to 2,000.
Barry, this is a pretty easy laydown by Barry.
Are you sure? And Barry's going to call like it's nothing, Dave. Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
And I mean, the reason...
That is unbelievable.
What the hell do I know?
Oh, my.
Well, I didn't say he was going to lay it down. I said it's a pretty easy laydown, though. Now, the interesting thing is, if the river is a 10...
Oh, my goodness.
Obviously, the full house is a little more disguised.
Yeah.
With the double-paired board out there, it's not disguised, and you really shouldn't make any extra money. I mean, really should have gone maybe a $600 or $700 bet by Barry and just fold.
Right.
Man. Wow. Wow. Well, that's Jason's image. One of the reasons he gets paid off. He has that kind of gambler image about him.
And that is going to be over a $5,000 pot there for Katsutani. And look at this. I was hoping that this guy was going to come into the game. He played really well. I saw him over in the 5-10 game, and I had another reason why I was hoping he came into the game. Button's going to move over here into seat 6.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I've actually played him quite a few times.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty good player, but he also is prone to going on tilt. I saw him basically go on tilt and tilt for about $1,500, calling some guy off with just ace high.
Well, he played really well last night, dude.
Yeah.
3-way action here. Ace, king, 5, and Steve's got top pair. Going to get checked over to Flicker, and he's going to bet.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to get involved here.
He's going to bet 130.
Yeah, like I said, I actually thought he was a pretty good player. It's just one of those, a lot of these players, they play well 95% of the time, and then other 5% of the time they're kind of on tilt. Wow, what a call by Barry, huh? And I tell you, and he gets on us for giving him crap.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it is a fine line between looking like a genius and a moron.
Right. But on a paired board, how valuable is a flush?
Oh, it's not valuable at all. Obviously, all you can beat is like, let's say Jason is making that move with ace high or king high, hoping to get you up with ace high.
Remember, he did lead out in the flop and he called the turn.
Right. I mean, you think he's doing that with just ace high?
Well, the big blind's over in Alex's hand. We're going to see him play for the first time. Katsutani's got the button in seat 7. And Barry's got to be a little bit shocked on that one. Barry's going to limp. Jason Katsutani's got a Jack 10 offsuit. He's going to raise it up. He's going to make it 140 here on the button.
Yeah, he's on the button. He loves to raise on his button.
Mike is going to call with 8-7 offsuit, and Barry's in there with 10-8. Barry's dominated here. Three-way action here. It's about a $450 pot. And Jason hits top pair. Now Barry's got middle pair.
Mike has middle pair as well.
Is Barry going to bet it? No. And this might go bet, call, call with the way these two guys play.
He might raise. Look at this.
No. Mike's going to call. And now what is Barry going to do? He's going to overcall with middle pair.
You want me to raise?
You look like you're gonna raise. What's that? You throw 4 chips back.
And Barry makes the overcall here. And now we've got a pot of about $1,300. The turn is 7.
Man, look at
and
that.
Mike's got 2 pair.
Oh, that's
and now he's going to bet.
It's 800.
He's going to bet 800 now.
And obviously 9-10 has got to go through your head. Did this guy just make it straight? Was he open-ended? Did he call me with an open-ended straight, and there he hits it?
And Barry's got a gut shot with middle pair.
Yep. Barry's obviously got some outs there. He can catch a 10 or a 9.
And now if Barry calls, Katsutani just folds.
I think he can.
I mean, this is unbelievable
I
stuff.
mean, these guys are crazy. These guys are action junkies, but it is a pretty scary board.
It's an $800 bet. It's about a pot-sized bet.
And the interesting thing is that if Barry calls and Jason calls, Barry cannot win the pot. He can only chop it.
And he's going to raise it to 2,000. Holy smokes. And he's got the third best hand. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
This is unbelievable. $800 bet, a raise to 2,000 by Mike.
And Jason actually said that if he doesn't do that, I'm raising.
Yep. And now the pot, I want to say, is about $4,000, $2,000 for Mike to call. Yeah, it's actually more than that.
Yeah, I want to give Mike, he's going to call this, but I want to give Barry credit that says he would play 9-10 the same exact way.
And I think that Mike barely covers it. I don't think it's much more to.
It's much more than 2,000.
Yeah, and that's what Mike is saying.
Yeah, and Barry needs a 9, a 10, or a jack actually would win this.
Yep, a 9, a 10, or a jack. How much more is it to Barry? Folks, again, we're looking at about a $6,000 or $7,000 pot here. Is it any much more?
How much more?
$310, and Barry's going to make the call.
We're looking at, what, 6,500?
Yep. Jack, 9, or 10, right?
Yes.
Jack, 9, or 10 for Barry, and it's going to put Mike on Uber tilt for $7,000. Oh, man.
You almost sound like you're rooting for it.
I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm just rearing up.
Well, maybe if Barry catches his lucky card, my wife will get an extra good tip this week.
Yeah. So anyway, she took 2 more $100 off, put it on your 800.
Well, we're still trying to figure out. We look at a $7,000 pot, 9, jack, or 10. Here we go to the river. Oh, it's a 3. We missed it there. Yeah, there it is.
And Mike takes down a big pot.
Yep.
Nice play.
Wow. Oh, look at Mike rubbing it in. Nice play.
Nice play. And Barry shakes his head in disgust. And Jason said he would have raised Mike, but Mike would have still been there, you know?
He actually said, even if Barry smooth calls that, Jason is going to raise it up.
Yep. Unbelievable stuff here on Live the Bike.
And the 3 would not have helped Jason either.
Yep.
It was just a matter of time, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that. He's rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say about Barry is he does bet his strong hands, too. If he had 9-10 there, he would have probably played it the same exact way and still gotten paid.
Again, we're here live at the Bike. You can also always catch us on a replay starting an hour after the show, running all the way up to the next day at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Steve Flicker's raising it up in early position with ace-jack, kind of opening up his game as well.
Mike's going to call with king 5 of diamonds. See, 5's in there with pocket 3s. Look at Barry. He's in there with jack 7 of diamonds. Mike's got the diamonds dominating on him.
Diamonds come out here. This could get crazy.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way action, $500 pot. Flicker is the pre-flop raiser. Here we go.
And oh wow.
Jack 7, 6, and Barry's got top 2, and Flicker's got ace jack.
Oh man, I tell you, Barry's like, even when he's playing even when he's kind of dunking it up, he's still getting lucky.
He's going to bet 300. Let's see what. And Barry's just going to call here. Well, it's a rainbow board. And now the pot's 1,100 as we go to the turn. The turn is a jack!
My.
Flicker's got trip jacks and Barry has a full house.
Oh, this could get ugly.
Oh my goodness.
Put me all in there, Jay.
This could get ugly.
Wow. If Barry had any idea what Flicker had now, Flicker's going to bet here. He's going to bet 800.
Yeah, Flicker, I mean, Barry usually plays with strong hands pretty strong. He might raise this up to 2,000.
He bets 700 here.
He might make this raise. Or
The pot is 1,800, 700 for Barry to call.
I think you have to raise this. You just show that you raise with garbage.
Oh, he's just
Raise
going to
with your
call.
main hand.
He's just going to call.
Come on, Barry.
$2,500 pot to the river. The money still might go all in. And the river is a 7, and they're going to chop it up here. Are you kidding me?
My.
The case jack comes on the turn, and then one of the remaining 2 7s comes on the river.
Right, and Steve obviously needed an ace. He only had 3 outs for the win.
Yeah.
Or he could have caught one of the last 2 7s to tie the pot.
And Flicker bets 1,000, and I think Barry now realizes that he's probably going to chop it, and he moves all in. And the only thing that Flicker can't beat here is pocket 7.
That's it.
Unbelievable. And Barry's going to be disgusted with this one. Wow.
Now, there are times to slow play your hand, you know what I mean? But Barry just showed everybody that he made a move.
Wow.
He also just lost a $7,000 pot. The table might be thinking he's steaming. I'm sure Steve Flicker probably thinking this guy is steaming off money.
Right.
And I think when Flicker makes it $700, if Barry comes over the top for 2,000,
right.
I mean, nothing changes. Flicker might even move all in. Or he might just call. But I don't think Flicker's going anywhere. Obviously, we can't change the river. The river's still going to be a 7. Oh, man. Flicker dodges a bullet there, huh?
Wow. Button's going to move over here to seat 9. Unbelievable stuff. Here we got about an hour left in the show.
6 comes. 6. Even a baby party might get it.
And Jason is actually correctly pointing out if a 6 comes there, I mean, there's no way.
Oh, Flicker can't get away from that.
I'm only wondering, what if a deuce comes off, though? Flicker probably bets $1,000 still. And when he raises them all in, does Flicker call? Oh, what a bad river for Barry, man. Oh.
Farhad's got pocket aces here. He's first to act after Mike's straddle. Mike's got pocket 4s in the straddle. Jason Katutani's going to call a 53 of clubs over there.
Yeah, he's looking for, he knows if he hits his hand, he'll probably get paid.
Yeah.
3-way action here. Here we go to the flop. Jack, Jack 8.
Man, I tell you, jacks are like hot. Every other hand is jacks.
We get a bet here by Farhad, and Jason's going to call. He's going to try to represent something, but Mike is going to check raise. Oh, wow.
See, but why, I mean, I'm not sure, but is this the kind of guy you want to make a move on, or is this the kind of guy you want to catch a big hand and make him pay you off?
He check raises to 290, and it looks like Farhad is going to make the call he does, and Jason gets away from it. The play he was going to try to set up.
Yeah, both players are trying to make the same play against this guy.
And we've got about $1,000 pot here heading to the turn.
I check.
Turns of 5, Mike checks. Farhad checks right behind him, and the river is a 3rd diamond. It's a queen. Mike checks again, and Farhad's just going to show down aces here.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There are players, obviously, when you're sitting down at a table, you want to try to, like, you try to assess your opponent. And there are players that you can make moves against. There are also players that you really want to just kind of wait until you get a big hand and make them pay, bet for value.
Yep.
Farhad is probably the latter.
Barry Woods looks like he's taking a walk here, Dave. Not at seat 6.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Splash some water on his face?
Yeah, pocket 8 should go.
I actually ran into Matt over there in seat 8 in the bathroom, and he said he's really not comfortable having this amount of money on the table. I said, why don't you just get up then? He said, I might, but he's still there.
Yeah. Well, he's up about $4,500, so he's probably got close to $7,000 or $8,000.
Says he doesn't necessarily want to get mixed up with Jason or Barry when, obviously the money is just flowing like water to them.
Yeah.
bit more.
Well, you know, I mean, for players like Jason and players like Mike and Barry, a $10,000 swing is not a big deal.
Right.
Race, make it 80.
Get aces again?
You know, we always talk about, obviously, if you're not comfortable with that, you might want to get up.
We get an $80 raise here by Farhad with 7-4 offsuit.
Farhad kind of stepping out of the box there, mixing it up.
Russ is going to call here. We can't see what he has over there in seat 2.
He's got a Queen 9 offsuit.
And Mike is in there with 6-10 of hearts. Here we go, 3 ways, 240 in the pot. Jack 8-6 with a couple of diamonds.
Well, Mike's got the best hand here, but if Farhad follows through, do you think maybe he can take it down?
He's got a gut shot to the 5. He's going to bet 150. Russ had a gut shot to the 10. He folds.
Every time you got a hand, man.
And Mike is going to call here with bottom pair. $150. Here we go to the turn. The turn's a 3.
That doesn't change anything.
Check, check. And the river's a 6. And now Mike makes trips. And he bets. He bets 500 here, but Farhad has absolutely nothing. Not this time.
Are you going to beat this one?
Again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, as always. Got about an hour left in the show.
That's what I was thinking last hand. I was thinking he can't have a big hand every time, and then he showed me 2 aces. I thought, shit. Yes, he can.
It looks like he's having a good time there. Farhad in seat 5.
Button's going to move over here to seat 2. It's Russ.
You know, sometimes we forget here that a lot of these players, they come down here just to have a good time. Obviously, most of these players are just recreational players. They're not professionals. We do have a couple of professionals on this table, though.
Well, Jason is a professional, right?
He's a professional poker player. He's actually a professional sports gambler as well.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say, I'm guessing Matt is also a professional poker player now.
Yep.
And I know Steve Flicker is a professional poker player.
Limped around here 3 ways. Here we go to the flop. Jack 4 deuce here. Looks like Queen Jack's got the best hand, but Mike is going to bet a gut shot wheel draw, and Katsutani's got top pair. Looks like he's going to raise it up. Going to make it 300 here.
He raises up with a hand, try to get a little bit of information. Figures he probably has the best hand, but let's see. And wow, Mike's going to call here.
Mike's going to call. He needs a 5 or an ace to improve his hand. Here we go to the turn. Turns a 6.
That doesn't change anything.
Mike checks.
Jason's going to charge it for his draw.
He's going to bet 400 here. And Mike calls. Wow. Wow. He needs an ace or a 5 here, about a $1,500 pot to the river. And the river's a 4, no help.
I mean, can he represent a 4 here?
You know, I think Katsutani might just check this one down if it gets checked to him here, Dave. I mean, yeah, can Mike represent a 4 and bet now? And look at this bet. Wow. And Jason just calls immediately. And he's going to take it down there with the jack. Wow, and that's about a $2,800 pot there, folks.
Yeah. I mean, I was wondering what Mike was calling with on the turn.
Yeah.
See if he could represent something. And Jason said that he had to tell.
Look at the amount of chips that Barry's brought to the table now. Barry, hey, there's a shot at Alex there.
Why do you want a shot at Alex?
Go back and watch the tape and see what that tell is.
Oh, okay.
Button's going to move over here.
Alex hasn't played a hand all night. That must be the reason.
When did they show that? No, they have a schedule around.
Mike bluffs off $800, and Jason makes a good call. You know, Jason, most players actually would check that down behind Mike. But Jason might have actually bet it. Jason's one of those players that actually does bet for value. He bets in times.
You know, he might get a call from Mike with like a Jack 7 or something.
Mike might have called with pocket 5s. You never know.
Got a straddle here by, I guess a raise here by Jason Katsutani with King 4 clubs.
How much is it?
80? $80.
I mean, I look at this game, and I actually think it's a favorable lineup. It's a game that I would want to play in, but not because of Jason.
Right.
Jason's a very solid player. I have a lot of respect for his game.
4-way action here. Queen deuce deuce on the flop.
Yeah, it misses everybody.
And Jason's going to make a continuation bet, and he's probably going to take it down here.
Bet 470.
He bets 470. And it looks like he's going to take it down.
Yeah.
We get an email here from Victor Sema. He says, Bart, I caught some of the show last night and I heard you say that the standard raise in the 5-10 no limit game is 60. I said that was standard for me with a real hand. I recently moved up from 5-5 no limit to 5-10 and realized the betting seems a little different in the bigger game. Closer to 6 times the blind rather than 3 times the blind in the smaller games. Why is your standard bet in the 5-10 no limit 6 times the blind? It is 6 times the blind in smaller games as well. And yes, it is. I bring it in for 30 or 25 in the 5-5 game. I just don't think that 3 times the blind, that's like a tournament move, Dave. It's just really not enough.
You've got to realize that the blinds are kind of irrelevant.
Right.
What you're really looking at is your stack size.
Yeah.
And if you're only going to raise, let's say in this game, it's 10, 20 game, if you have $6,000 or $7,000 behind, and you're only going to make it 60 to go, you're almost inviting people to come in and crack your big hands.
Straddle here by Jason. John limps with ace-jack. And we got 5-way action here, so it's a $200 pot here going to the flop. King 5-7. This is everybody. Looks like Farhad has the best hand with middle pair. Gets checked around. Turns a 9. Now Farhad's got a flush draw, and so does Barry.
Yeah, Barry's picked the same flush draw. Barry also has a gut shot. If he catches an 8, he'll have a straight.
Farhad's going to come out and bet here with his flush draw and middle pair. He bets 110.
The nice thing about Barry's straight is if this 8 does come off, and anybody else had a 6, Barry actually has a 10 high straight.
Barry calls with that draw. We could see some real fireworks if we get a diamond here on the river. Here we go to the river. Oh, the river's king, and Farhad is good here. Now, if Farhad checks it, can Barry represent something? Farhad's going to look like he's going to put in a little one of those like blockish bets here on the river.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be the trick.
Barry throws it away.
Now, it's funny, we were talking about, and I wrote this up in the post. Anyway, again, people just joining us, you can check out a post I wrote in Wednesday night's thread that's over on World Poker Tour, etc., about the game, about how I thought Barry misplayed the hand against the grinder. I said when Barry makes that call, that $2,000 raise that the grinder made with jacks, and the grinder said, I have a full house. When Barry makes that call with ace-queen, to make that call, Dave, you're not looking for an improvement on the river. You have to know your hand is good now, right?
I mean, is there any way you can think that the grinder might have diamonds, though, and when the diamond comes on the river?
I didn't even know if the diamond came on the river.
It did, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well,
on the river.
you know what?
I mean, I'm just throwing that at you.
Yeah. Mike is going to raise here to 80. He's got ace-deuce. He's going to get called here by Barry and Jason and Farhad. 4-way action, $320 flop to the flop.
Same faces.
Well, Jason's got an open-ended straight draw and top pair, and Farhad's got a better kicker.
Yep.
And Farhad's going to bet here. Actually, you know what? Jason's going to come out and bet.
Yeah. Jason bets first.
He bets 150. He bets half the pot.
And is Farhad going to raise or is he going to call this? I'm pretty sure he's going to call this, right?
He makes the call here.
And obviously, Jason's got a lot of outs. A 7 is good. It's a scary card, but a 7 is good.
10 is also a scary card.
Yeah.
Here we go to the turn. Turns a 6, and Jack 9 is still good here.
Yeah.
It's a $660 pot, but it looks like Jason's going to try to bet this guy off with maybe a better 9.
Yep.
He's going to bet 400.
And you can see the percentages obviously don't add up to 100% because the other percentages is a tie, a chop pot. If a 9 or a 6 were to come out, or a queen, king, or ace, they would chop this up.
Farhad calls, and we've got $1,500 here going to the river. Jason needs some help, and the river's 3. That's not going to do it.
Farhad's jack does play, and he's going to win this pot. He's going to check mark next to his name.
Now, what is Jason going to do here? Does he know he's beat? Is he going to try to bet the guy off of a 9 here? No, he's going to check, and Farhad's going to check right behind him. Well, maybe Jason thought his hand was good, but
yeah, I like actually the check there. If Farhad's got a heart, he didn't get there. Obviously, if he had a 7, he didn't get there. Obviously, and there's no way. I don't think you're going to get Farhad off of a 9.
Yeah.
Obviously, not much value to betting the river there. And there's Alan. Alan taking over in seat 2. I guess Hollywood Russ gets up.
That's Alan. Actually, Russ has moved to seat 8, and Matt has got up, Dave.
Like you said, you actually said
yeah.
he was a little uncomfortable in this game. And
Right.
got nothing.
Well, you can always take a break for 30 minutes and come back in at whatever level you want to come back in on.
Right.
You
the only
can't
problem
take
is
money off the table.
There's a board at this
Yeah,
table.
you're not going to get back in this game, but...
And he might go jump into a smaller game.
Right.
Buy it for a couple thousand. Now, obviously, you will adjust your raises pre-flop according to the game you're playing. You know, in a game like this, a $60 raise isn't going to do anything. You've got to be raising it up to 100, 120 to really get anything.
The button's going to move over here to seat 7, Jason.
And I'll tell you, my traditional raise in a 5-10 game will be anywhere from, say, $45 to even up to $75.
Right.
Depending on how the game is playing.
We're going to get a chip count up here, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah, how
I
many
think Jason's
players
up pretty big.
Yeah, he's had a nice night now. He's turned around.
Alex is back over there in seat 9.
He's in the big blind now.
Yep. And Russ has got ace-king suited over there in the small blind, seat 2.
And Mike raises. Surprise, surprise.
He's going to make it 90. He's got ace-6 of hearts. Steve Flicker lived it with an ace-3. So Russ with the ace-king, there's only one ace left in the deck here. And look at this. Jason Katsutani's going to re-raise with pocket 6s. And now if you're Russ, if Russ calls trying to hit this flop, he's probably not going to hit the flop, Dave. You can see 3 of the aces are dead.
Not only is he not going to hit the flop, but if he hits the flop, he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, might you re-raise this and take it down right now?
Problem is Mike raising and Jason re-raising Mike. So you don't necessarily give credit to anybody having a hand. And Russ lays it down.
And some people can say that's a real passive move, but ace-king out of position, it's a tough hand to play. If you re-raise to 500 and you get called, well, where are you?
And look at what great shape Jason's in here. We know that there's one ace left. Oh, and look at that, the case ace comes out. Ace jack 3 with a couple clubs.
Kiss of death, I tell you.
Check on the flop.
Well, now Mike's in great shape. There's only 1-6 left.
The turn's a 3. Mike checks again. And now Jason's going to bet. Let's see if Mike check raises. He's going to bet 400.
Well, Mike's kicker does not play. He's got aces and 3s with a jack kicker. Not much value to raise.
And he's just going to call. Pot's about 1,500 as we go to the river. And the river's a deuce.
That changes nothing.
And Mike's going to bet the river. He bets 600 here.
Oh. I thought you might.
But, and this would be, Jason's going to pay him off here, Dave. He's getting about 5 or 6 to 1.
I thought Jason said he had a tell on.
Yeah.
I guess he has a tell when he's right.
Arvin on 2+2 says, my respect for this show would improve tenfold if you guys could get Ivy to play or commentate on the show. Can you guys ever get the best poker player alive? Well, I actually personally do not know Phil Ivey, and we actually know now probably a lot of the top poker players. They know us. Phil Ivey is not one of the guys that we know.
You know, Phil Ivey.
Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the chip count here. Well, Barry's still got the table covered with 12,000. We've got 47,000. And Barry bought more chips on the table. Let's take a look at the differences. Farhad up 3,500. I guess Katsutani's broken even, and Barry now negative 2,000 for the day.
Mike down 3,000.
Yep.
He was down about 7,000 right away. Yeah, Phil Ivey actually, he likes to play the really big game over at the Bellagio.
Yep.
And that's where he lives. And he doesn't spend much time in Los Angeles.
Yep.
He'll come here for the big tournaments.
You get a raise here, I believe, by Mike. 3-way action here.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep. Ace 6-8 here. Mike's got Jack 9.
Hey, not a bad flop for Farhad there. He's open-ended, and it's a rainbow board. I like
gonna
that.
It's about a $350 pot. He's going to bet 150. Let's see what Jason's going to do here with the Ace 10. And going to throw in. Oh, he's just going to call. I thought maybe he'd mini raise there, kind of see what's going on. Here we go to the turn. Turn's a 3.
And Farhad checks. Pretty straightforward there. He bets the flop, checks the turn. I think that's why Jason called there.
Now, if Jason makes 2 pair, Farhad will have the straight. And Jason checks right behind him, trying to keep the pot a little small. The river's a king. Now, again, you might need to call here if you've got Ace 10. Yeah, Farhad's going to bet 200, and I think this is going to be a call here from Jason. Actually, he's going to raise. Wow. He's going to raise it 400 more.
So you have it, man.
And, you know, maybe Jason's looking at, you know, Dave, like you always say, he just doesn't want to show the hand down. Knows he's got the best hand, he doesn't want to show it down.
There's definitely value to that. You never know. Sometimes sometimes somebody thinks you're bluffing. They think you're making a move, and they'll call you with an ace.
Got a post here by Jay Siegel on 2+2. He says, Dave's flying solo as long as the camera has a close-up on Alex in seat 9.
Wow. You like Alex, huh?
Bud moves over here to Alex in seat 9. Not that close-up.
But obviously, we'd love to have Phil Ivey. If Phil Ivey's listening, come on down and play.
Yeah.
I actually don't. It's funny too. We see most of the big names here. I mean, all the time. Jennifer Harmon, Doyle Brunson.
I don't know if I've ever seen Phil Ivey here.
Phil Ivey, I've only seen him. I've seen him here during the Legends. But even then, he only really plays here for a few days out of that.
Well, look at this. Barry Wood's got aces.
And Mike is up for the table. What a bad beat. That's a bad beat right there.
Barry's going to make it 120 here.
The fact that Mike is not at this table.
And look at Jason Katsutani. He's going to call him in position with 9 deuces of diamonds here, Dave. He's going to try to outplay him.
Well, the flop comes out with 2 9s and 2 deuces. He's going to get all Barry's money.
Obviously, he's making this call to try to outplay Barry in position, and this one's going to be interesting. It's going to be funny if Rags flop what Jason's going to try to represent. $250. Here we go to the flop.
Well, that's not Rags.
Not a great flop for aces here. King, Jack, 10, a couple spades. Barry's going to bet. He's going to bet 300 here. And is this the type of flop that Jason wants to represent? No. He's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering if he was going to make that play to see if he could. The one thing is there are always huge implied odds against Barry. Even heads up there, and Barry's pretty deep, and so is Jason. And if you happen to hit your 9s, your diamonds, or your deuces, might Barry pay you off to the tune of $6,000, $7,000?
Again, I know. Obviously, we said that Jason made that call to try to outplay Barry. With that type of Broadway flop, I don't mind Jason just getting rid of it.
Oh.
We know that no matter how much you raise, Barry doesn't get rid of aces or ace-king there. It doesn't matter what you have.
Barry probably wouldn't have laid down queens either, even though the board was king, jack, 10.
Right. So, queens would be an open-ended straight draw with a pair.
I mean, the only hand you get Barry off of, you probably get Barry off pocket eights.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you got to pick your spots there.
Right.
I mean, especially Barry against specifically Jason. We've seen Barry make laydowns. He'll make a laydown against, say, Steve Flicker. Or even against you.
6-way action here. Limps around. Queen 9-4 with a couple of hearts. Doesn't really hit anybody here.
No, nobody's got anything really. I mean, Jason's got a king 4. But Russ has got the best hand with pocket 5, and he's going to bet it.
He bets 80 here.
In late position. I like the bet.
And then, John hasn't really shown any resistance, so bet there and buy yourself the button.
Oh, yeah, why not? And Barry's going to call with a gut shot.
And Jason does not overcall now. Barry's got overcards and a gut shot to the jack. And the turn's a jack.
Oh.
Well, of course, though, here we go. The problem is calling here. I mean, Russ has, he's not going to put any more money in the spot, I don't think.
I mean, I like the bet, though. Barry's probably going to bet this, and I like it. You got to hope. I mean, Russ usually bets when he's got a pretty big hand. And if Russ has king, queen here, or even queen, jack, maybe, you're really going to get a lot of money.
Yep. And we can tell you, one of the flaws and leaks in Russ's game is that he did not only played aces in this manner, but if he had limped in with ace-queen, he doesn't get away from those hands. I mean, I've seen Russ lose a lot of money with aces, Dave, over the last few months watching him play.
Yeah, he actually lost a huge pot of aces against me.
Right.
The board came out 10 jack queen.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, you think of all in a raised pot 5 ways, and the board comes out 10 jack queen, and he actually called my all in with aces.
Right.
I mean, and the only hand he can beat there really is king queen, like open ended with top pair.
Eight, 9 offsuit here for Alex. He's going to limp in. Limped around here 4 ways. $80 pot to the flop. Queen 10 jack rainbow flop here. We got 8-9 over there for Alex. He's got the ass end of it in seat 9.
Yeah, in an unraised pot, I like that hand. Obviously, you got to be cautious. In a raised pot, you could easily be up against ace king.
So you talk about sometimes you make a call with a little suited connector 8-9. Now Barry's got middle pair jack deuce. Is he going to get involved with Alex?
Alex hasn't played a hand at all.
He makes the call. Now there's some real scare cards that can come out here. Turns an 8. Now Alex has got a one-liner here. And now Barry's going to try to represent here. He's going to bet 300.
What's he representing, though?
Alex is just going to call here. Turn was the 8 of clubs. And the river's an offsuit 3. And if Barry checks this, do you bet? Well, Barry's going to bet, and I think this is an easy call here for Alex. And he makes the call. I'm going to tell you something. If I was Alex there, I'd make Barry turn over his hand. I don't turn that hand over first. I want to, have him show Jack Deuce to the table. Why? I want to get some information.
Oh, yeah.
But why do you want to, do you really want to piss off a guy who right now is on tilt a little bit and giving away money? Do you really want to piss him off to the tune where he might just say, fuck you all, I'm leaving home.
Listen to me, Barry's not I've never considered Barry a fish. He's a guy who's
he's not a
schooled poker player. And yeah, I might want to get under his skin. I wouldn't do that to a guy. Probably wouldn't do it to seat 5, Dave. I wouldn't do it to, Italian Tony that comes on the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, fair enough.
You wouldn't do that.
I might to Barry. You're right. The more I think about it. You're right, though. I definitely would not do it in seat 5.
Right,
though.
right.
No, I don't consider Barry a fish. I think Barry's a really good player. I think right now he's tilting a little.
Yeah.
I think he's in mid-tilt right now. Ace 10-7, Rainbow. Seat number 7, Jason's got the best hand with a 10. But seat 3, Steve is going to bet this with Queen 7.
Yep.
He's got bottom pair with backdoor diamonds.
And Jason's going to call here with middle pair.
Well, you know what he's calling Steve? Steve is on the button betting this.
Turns a king. Now Steve picks up a flush draw. He's going to check it, though.
He also has a gut shot straight draw.
Does he want to take a card here, or is his hand big enough to make a semi-bluff here on the turn? He goes check, check. And the river's that diamond.
Yep. Steve gets there.
The funny thing here is, if Jason wanted to represent a weak ace, it's that much less likely now because another ace has come out.
Yeah.
And now Steve's going to bet. And Jason quickly gets away from the hand. Got about 40 minutes left in the show here.
And that's the problem with a hand like 10-5 out of position. You call there, you don't really know where you're at. You end up giving a free card, and your opponent gets there.
Yep.
It's funny. Obviously, it's one of those things where people on the outside, and obviously right now we're on the outside watching this game, it's really easy for us to see who's on top of the game, who's tilting a little bit, and so forth. And right now it just looks like Barry is a little bit off kilt,
Button's moved over here to Barry in seat 6.
And it's funny, too, earlier when Barry made a really good laydown against Steve Flicker where he had top pair. Board came out jack, blank, blank. Steve had top set of aces.
Limped around here 4 ways. Queen 8-9 with a couple spades. Didn't really hit anybody here. It's going to get checked around. Turns another queen. It's the 3rd spade.
Russ has the highest spade. He's going to bet it.
That's 80 with pocket 3s.
It's actually the queen of spades out there on the turn.
Yeah. Steve Flicker actually has the best hand with the ace-8, but Russ is going to take it. Yeah. You can see how the game is kind of slowed down now that Mike is away from the table.
Yeah, nice bet by Russ there. Anyway, though, you saw earlier on Barry make a really nice laydown with top pair with a king kicker, and he was playing the player. He figured, Steve's pretty tight. I'm not going to give this guy any action. And he throws away a hand.
Yeah.
Well, then there, obviously, he wasn't paying attention to the fact that Alex had not played a hand the entire night. You really got to be focused on who you're playing against.
Button's going to move over here to seat 3. His seat 7, Jason Katsutani.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Got about 30 minutes left in tonight's show. And this week, actually.
Barry's going to raise here with ace-7 of hearts, as we've got several people away from the table now. And Jason Katsutani's going to call it the queen-jack of diamonds here.
It's one thing great about cash games. Sometimes you get to see short-handed play, which is really exciting.
Oh, Barry's flopped the nut flush draw here.
Yeah, nice flop for Barry. He's also got a gut shot. No, he does not have a gut shot straight draw. Sorry.
And he's going to come out and bet, and Jason is not going to get involved with it. You know what? Interesting that Barry told me I was playing with him in 510 this afternoon. He doesn't drink beer. He drinks gin and tonic. Gin and tonic only.
What's his gin of choice?
He was actually telling me about a gin that was better than Tanqueray 10 and, Sapphire, Bombay Sapphire. I don't remember what the name of it. Donna, why don't you ask him?
Barry, what kind of gin do you drink?
Sorry?
Gin.
Bombay Sapphire?
No, the good gin, Barry, that you told me about this afternoon.
What one that you were
It's not that
talking
one.
about?
Oh, Hendrick?
Hendrix.
Okay.
Hendrix gin.
There you go. Perfect. Now I got a present for him.
Button's going to move over here to seat 8.
Want to buy me one? Raise it. It's 70.
Jason's going to raise here to 70.
Thank her for me.
And John's going to call here with ace-6 of hearts. All spades out here. Jason's got bottom pair.
Cash instead.
Jason's going to bet when it's checked to him.
Yeah, he's not really betting his hand. He's betting the player he's playing against. He's betting the fact that he's in position.
Now, is John going to make a move here? No. John's played it pretty solid straight up all night. He got mixed up and lost all of his stack, actually, to Mike.
Yeah.
When he brought it in for kings and Mike re-raised with aces. And what are you going to do against an
not much
action
you can
player
do
like that?
The funny thing is he actually up about he's up about $1,000 when he flopped quad 10s earlier than that.
I'm just still amazed by this picture we've had up on our screen.
I know.
For the last 3 weeks.
Just for anybody that knows, we've got a picture of Liz Liu on our
Pointing at us.
on our computer screen. She's our background.
Right. Bud's going to move over here to seat 9.
Whenever there's a lull in the action, Bart clicks over to it.
Yeah. Gonna get folded around the blind.
Everybody folds, and I don't think Steve does chop.
Oh, he is gonna chop.
Wow.
This is a collection game. Again, we've got about three people walking from the table right now.
Yep.
Farhad is out of there. Action Mike and Action Allen is out as well.
Action Allen. Got anything planned this weekend?
I mean, nothing particular.
No? Okay.
Go out to some bars tomorrow. I think I might go to Cat and Fiddle tomorrow night.
Oh, that's
Anyone familiar?
pretty cool bar.
Have you been there before?
I have, yeah.
Guinness for like $3.50 on tap.
That's great.
Yeah.
Three-way
action
action.
here. Limped around. Ace 10-6 with a couple of club.
I believe Steve's got the best hand here, the pair. Actually, no, he has nothing. Sorry.
I'll check it for him.
Is Jack High still the best hand? Yeah, it is.
Farhad's back to the table. Turns a 9.
John's made a pair. He also made a gut shot to the 8. That's 60. He's in position. Why not?
Yeah, he's going to take it down.
I'm actually heading up to Santa Barbara tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to play a little poker tonight and go to Santa
Did you
Barbara.
always talk about to me like in the grand scheme of your life plan that you want to move there at some point in the next year, Santa Barbara?
I don't know about the next
Down
year,
there.
but I would like to at some point, buy some land up there and build a...
Buy some land,
Buy some
buy a
land.
horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a house in Santa Barbara. I love it up there.
I've never actually been up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it's only an hour and a half away. You got to grab yourself some cute little girl and just go up there for the weekend.
He bought the button.
Ace Jack suited here for seat 5. Ace Queen offsuit for Alex in seat 9. Alex is going to. Alex is just going to limp here, Dave. Well, I've never seen Alex play in the 10-20 game before. This might be a step up. He wants to play conservatively.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's getting paid off when he hits the. You know what I mean? He flops a straight and he gets paid off anyway.
Farhad has Ace Jack of hearts. He does not have Ace King, and he raises.
He raised 100.
Alex is going to call. John had called the Queen 6 of spades. He's in position. He's not going to get involved.
2 players.
And we're heads up here. Ace Queen against Ace Jack. Well, 8-5-7 with 2 clubs. He's missed both players.
Obviously, Alex is in very good shape. He's also in position. If he bets this, he'll probably just take it down right here.
Farhad checks, and Ace Queen checks behind him. Turns a 3. Check again here. Check again. The river's a 6. And at this point, you hope the guy doesn't have ace-king and he's going to turn it over and it's good. There you go. Rolling into the last half hour of the show. As always, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
It's my buck. It is.
Last half hour of the week, as Dave Tuckman rightly pointed out.
So it's double fist night tonight or no?
Fold, fold, fold here.
Yeah, action goes to Farhad on the button with king 8. And he's not going to play.
They're going to chop this one up.
Wow, and I'm really surprised Jason chops.
Right.
Really surprised.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Button's going to move over here to Barry Woods. And
I would think that he'd want to play, especially when he's in position against anybody.
You know what Isaac likes? You know, Isaac, our technical director.
Yeah.
He's a big Formula One fan. I think he's like one of the only American Formula One fans in this country. Here we go. Look at the chip count here.
Over 47,000
47,000.
in tabletop. Pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
And let's take a look at the differences. Farhad's got 3,500. Steve's got 2,400. Alex has got 1,200. If you're going to be a fan of car racing, I guess Formula One's a little better than NASCAR.
Is
I mean,
it?
no offense to those NASCAR people out there. Come on.
80 more. He's back watching the camera.
Russ is going to raise here. He's going to make it 80 to go. He's got Jack 6 offsuit here, Dave. He's going to raise. Now, Jason Katsutani's got Ace-Jack in the small blinds. He's not even going to get involved with it. Wow.
What's a Daytona? Or right?
John Russ kind of plays a little bit out of the box there.
Yeah.
Takes it down. Playing his image.
Russ Berry. I'm sorry?
I think Isaac always liked to think of himself as European. You know,
Isn't Isaac European?
Formula One racing.
I always thought Isaac was European.
I thought he was originally, he grew up in Tennessee. Button's going to move over here to Jason in seat 7.
I like watching. I like it. I love watching.
And we're going to get a raise here by Steve. He's got pocket 10s, a couple of black 10s. You know Farhad's going to call. He's got king, queen of hearts. And Russell's got pocket deuces. Are you going to call this? With a pair, I mean, I'd rather call with pocket deuces than say ace, queen.
Right. Now, though, again, you know, are you going to get paid off in a big way against Steve?
Maybe not against Steve, but Farhad's in the hand also. You've got to realize there's somebody else in there.
He gets away from it. Three-way action here. Here we go. Ace 9-9, and Steve Flicker is still good here with 10s. Is he going to fire out? He's out of position. Check, check, check around. Turns another ace. Well, 10 is still play here.
Yeah, well, Farhad's got the nut, no pair.
And Flicker's going to bet 200.
He's pretty sure he's got the best hand now. And Farhad still has outs here. Well, he is not going to call.
Not going to call. You know, it's funny. I was watching. I wanted to mention this to you because you're kind of a movie buff and an actor as well. On Saturday, they reran an episode of Saturday Night Live from back right before Christmas, and Alec Baldwin was the host. And about 5 minutes before the show ended, I saw one of the funniest skits I've ever seen on Saturday Night Live. You've seen Glenn Ross, right?
Of course.
When Alec Baldwin does that incredible monologue. He did the same exact monologue, word for word. But in this time, he was an elf, and he was trying to motivate these elves to cobble toys. And they didn't change the monologue at all. It was one of the funniest things. They started off the show, they started the thing off with put that cocoa down, as opposed to put that coffee down. It's going to be one of the funniest things I've ever heard. You can actually find that on the internet. I found like a link to it if you do like a Google search on elf skit. 10-4-4 here on the flop with a couple clubs. Farhad's got Jack 10.
Yeah.
I'll show that to you after the show, man.
That's
That's going to be the
classic.
funniest thing.
I mean,
At the end of the show,
great
too.
scene, too.
Yeah. Farhad's going to bet. Actually, Barry bets 240 here, and Farhad's going to check call. Turns a king. Barry has absolutely nothing. And now Farhad's going to bet. And Barry mucks.
And Barry, none of his bluffs are working tonight.
Yeah.
Really, none of his bluffs are working. The interesting thing is, even though Barry has been caught bluffing left and right, if that 7 doesn't come on the river against Flicker, he's probably up a couple $1,000 rather than being down a couple thousand.
Yeah. First prize is a brand new toboggan. Second prize is a box of candy canes. It was those types of subtle differences in the monologue that, but it was just
A box of candy
yeah,
canes.
as opposed to Ginsu steak knives and a car. Jason Katsutani's going to raise here to 80. He's got 8-9 offsuit.
Glenn Geyer, I haven't seen. I saw that last summer actually.
Yeah. Now that monologue was not originally in the Manette play, I do not believe, right? Because of course it was a play first.
Right. Man.
Yeah.
You really tested my knowledge. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming some sort of monologue was in there. Maybe not, obviously.
I think
verbatim.
it was written right for Alec Baldwin. It was added to the screenplay.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Mamet actually, he wrote the screenplay as well as the play.
Yeah, he adapted it, right?
Yeah. Very rarely do you get the same
Did he
writer.
win an Oscar for that in that year? As best adapted screenplay?
He might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've actually seen the film twice. Once when it originally came out, and then again last year we rented it during the World Series, actually, while we were renting a house in Vegas.
Yeah. This one's going to get folded around. Boy, Mike's been away from the table for a long time now. I don't know what's going on. And this table, I mean, this game is kind of slowed down to a grinding halt without him in the game.
And nice email here from William Crick. Thank you.
Button's going to move over here to C3, Steve Flicker.
Big blind there.
Gary's in the big blind. Katsutani's under the gun.
Well, between you got Alex and Seat 9 playing it real straightforward. Seat 1 playing it real straightforward. Steve not giving much action. You know, this game is pretty much Seats 5, 6, and 7 right now. Huh?
Yeah. Russ is going to bring this one in for a raise here out of Seat 8.
An early position with
Ace-10 offsuit.
Well, he's got the best hand.
Game, they just fouled Washington.
Farhad is called with ace deuce of hearts, and Barry's in there with king jack. Here we go to the flop. 8-3-4 rainbow. This is everybody.
Yeah, Farhad's got a wheel draw, but Russ has actually got the best hand right now with ace-10. And they both check to Barry. Actually, I'm sorry, Barry bets out of second position here.
Yeah.
Sheer bluff here by Barry.
All tied up 79.
And he's probably going to take it down here.
Now, most players don't really mix it up much when they're eating, but Barry doesn't follow that rule. He's
So they're up by 3. On the line again? What's that foul?
And Farhad calls. Turns to 6.
well, Farhad's got the best hand, but Barry continues to play her. It's going to be hard for Farhad to do anything.
Check, check. And the river's a 7. Well, one liner to a straight now, Dave.
Yeah, Barry's going to have to bet this if he wants to win it.
Nope, he gives up.
And that's going to piss Barry off.
Getting worried that Washington is almost about to upset UConn, Dave.
Wow.
Isn't
And
that
did BC win, too? BC beat Villanova?
They were in overtime. No, Villanova won.
Nova did win. I was going to say,
But
wow.
George Mason, an 11 seed, I think, made it to the final 8.
Well, they beat Wichita.
Yeah, Wisconsin, wasn't it?
Was it Wisconsin? I
Yeah.
thought it was Wichita. Ray, help us out.
Button's going to move over here to seat 5. Again, Corporation Mike still absent from the game.
Wow, so 2-4. I mean, Duke is gone. They lose to a 4, and if Washington beats UConn, that's a 5 in it.
Pocket queens here for Alex.
My bracket is just going to go to complete crap.
And he's going to make it 120 to go. John folds 5-6 of clubs. And we're not going to see any action here.
Is there anybody else who want to play?
I mean, I think there's only going to be one person in the entire thing I'm beating still.
Yeah.
Probably just Ray.
You know where Mike is?
And now the players are asking where Mike is as well, because it's been a long time.
Yeah. And like I said, Mike works here. He does do the corporation on the other side of the Asian game section. So oftentimes Mike does have to get up. But there is a board.
Scroll up there, Isaac. I want to see that 500 board.
Well, he can mount Mike on the final.
Seats open, Dave.
Seats open with 2 games.
Yeah.
Alan's also played 2 hands.
Yeah, and Allen, I mean, that's why the game is grinding down to a halt. I mean, Allen played 2 hands and left the table.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Allen's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he went out for a smoke, and did he get lost?
Limped around.
4 players.
4-way action. Queen 10-3 rainbow.
Hey, nobody's got anything. Allen and...
Jason's got Queen 7. He's going to come out
Oh, does he?
bet
Okay,
here.
thank you.
And he is going to take it down.
It's funny how this game was playing so much bigger just about an hour and a half ago, and now this game is actually playing more like almost like a 5-10 game or a small 10-20 game. Once again, you can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10. You can also catch the entire week on Sundays. We replay the entire week. So check it out if you've missed any days this week. Not doing much on a Sunday? Turn your computer on, go to liveatthebike.com.
Yeah.
Button is in seat 7, that's Jason. John is under the gun in seat 1. He's got King Jack. No, I'm sorry, he's got Pocket Jacks. And you imagine he's going to raise this. Now, John is going to be raising in first position. What would you say minimum he has?
Raise to 80.
We haven't really seen him raise at all.
Right.
We saw him raise, I think, maybe 2 hands today. Actually, he limped into 10s. He raised with kings. And he's not going to get any action at all. He's just going to take down the blinds.
Jack Fighter Mike said he's going to be quiet for
And Allen is back to the table, so we're only going to send Mike now. Back to 8-handed.
One-point game we're getting, 7.9 seconds to go over there.
And obviously by the time you hear this, the game will be over.
Unless they're tied.
Right.
100.
We have an ace-king for Steve Flecker. He's going to raise it up. Barry's got king-queen. He's badly dominated. He's going to call.
They keep it cordial, but yeah, it's half and half.
Alex is going to lay it down. And is John going to get involved? No, John's not going to. We're seeing this 3-way. Jason called also a 7-9 suited. And we're seeing this 3 ways. Flop comes out.
10-5-4 rainbow. Misses everybody.
I tell you, it's one of my pet peeves. Dealers that do ugly flops. Brian's obviously one of the best dealers here. And Barry can't resist. He's going to bet it. And Steve is going to call.
140 total.
Steve calls with ace-king here.
Oh, Barry's been bluffing every other time. So oh, no, and here's the king.
Wow, and Barry and Steve here both have top pair. And Steve is going to bet out here. He bets 400 out, and Barry calls. And the pot is about 1,500 to the river here, Dave. The river's a 4.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
And it's a double, it's a paired board there. Both players have 2 pair, kings and 4s. Steve's ace will play, though. He's thinking value bet time.
And he's going to come out and bet 700, and Barry's going to call, I think, here. And Barry's going to lose another one. Steve takes it down with the ace-king.
And,
wow.
Second this time.
Barry just, before he threw down a hand against Steve Flecker, it's a player you don't really want to get involved with a hand. Especially a king-queen there. Once again, you can pick your opponents when you're playing in no limit hold'em. And if you have kind of a marginal hand like king-queen offsuit, you really want to get involved with a player like Steve.
And word is that they're going to go into overtime.
I guess Connecticut hit a 3 to tie it up at the end of the game, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got it. Oh, no.
Man, I tell you, the NCAA tournament, I don't know if it's fixed or something, but the games are just so amazing.
Right.
You get UCLA coming back from 17 points yesterday. Today, Villanova and BC go to overtime. Now you get UConn and Washington going to overtime.
3 players.
Man, you wonder why I think pro basketball just sucks compared to college basketball.
Right. 3-way action here. 10-7 deuce. Couple of hearts.
Yeah, Allen's got the best hand here. See, he's an overwhelming favorite. 72% chance here. But Barry's going to bet it.
Barry bets 120.
Just 2 players.
And we're heads up. Turns a jack.
And Barry turns it there. He gets jack there. I mean, Jason actually called it 3-5.
Yeah, you think Jason's setting up a play here, and Barry's going to bet again.
And look at this. Jason is going to make a play, but you know what, though? I like to point out, and I think Jason's making a mistake here. Barry has not been winning today. Do you really want to bluff a player who hasn't been winning? It's much easier to bluff a guy who's really been focused in on the game.
He's going to raise to 600 now.
Barry had nothing. Now he's got a pair of jacks, though. And Jason's, I guess Jason representing 8-9.
Obviously, he made that call on the flop to set this play up.
Jason is drawing dead. He clearly made that call just to, right, you said, just to set it up.
Well, you know that, and Barry makes the call, and Jason's going to throw a gigantic bet on the river. The river's an 8. One liner to a straight, now Barry can beat absolutely nothing. And let's see, and the pot is about 2,000 here, Dave. And Jason is going to bet 1,200.
Pot's out 3,200.
And look at that, Barry folds it. Wow. And do you show the bluff to Barry? Nope. Wow.
Man.
And
it's not Barry's night.
Nope.
And I got to tell you, we try to keep it real here, try to keep it honest. Barry's one of my favorite guys on Live the Bike. He is really a class guy and a nice guy.
Yeah.
But it's just not his night.
Got about, maybe 15 minutes left in the show. Mike is still gone.
I mean, I didn't think the bluff would work. I really did not.
Wow, look at this. We got pocket queens for John, and Barry's got pocket kings. And is John going to lose here again with that premium hand? Barry makes it 120.
Well, John just keeps getting screwed because he's playing against guys that, he gets kings versus aces against Mike, and now he has queens versus kings against Barry.
2 players.
And John just calls, and if we see a ragged flop here, Dave, we might see some fireworks. Barry's got a set of kings.
Yeah, an unlucky flop there for Barry. Actually, it would have been a much better flop if the flop came out 10 high.
Barry's going to bet. That's 200. John might think that Barry's, tilting a little bit. He makes the call. How about a queen here on the turn? Turns a 6.
Oh, Barry's been betting every flop. He's bluffing every other hand. So
now he's going to bet again.
It's hard to put him on a king.
That's 500.
But does John really want to get involved?
Nope.
No, he doesn't. And that's kind of another bad beat for Barry. I mean, it's a bad luck for Barry.
Yeah, bad luck for Barry.
He won the pot, but if that board comes out 9 or 10 high, I think he gets all of John's money.
Button moves over to Allen here, seat number 2.
Interesting question by Arvin here, because I always wonder that. It says, hey, Dave and Bart, what do you guys think about checking in the dark when first to act?
Sure.
Any opinion on that?
It's not a play that I necessarily don't like to do, but you can mix it up a little bit.
I mean, it's an interesting play. Sometimes it does freeze your opponent because you're not necessarily sure what they're doing.
Limps around here.
There I go.
Queen 7-7 on the flop. Queen Jack over there for seat 1. And look at Russ is going to bet into a flush drop. He's going to bet 90. And John mucks the Queen Jack like it's nothing there, Dave.
Who bet?
Russ.
It was Russ, okay.
Yeah.
Can't really beat a real queen, I guess. You can't beat a 7.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to get involved there. Now, it's interesting. Occasionally, if I raise in late position with a premium holding, and I get a 1 caller, and it's a big blind, the guy goes, I check blind too. I will sometimes bet blind myself.
Right. I know you like to do that.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm not going to give him any information. I'll bet blind. There you go. I'm waiting for the guy to check raise me blind.
Post here by Pauper Boy on 2+2 says, Bart and Dave, big fan of the show. Any thoughts on percentage of flops seen as a player? I've noticed the percentages correspond with each individual's playing style. I think this guy's referring to a poker tracker online table that tells you how many times somebody voluntarily enters the pot pre-flop. 3-way action, well, that is definitely a useful statistic. Of course. Queen 4 queen here. Russ has got trip queens, and he's going to bet.
John's got 2 pair, but I doubt John is going to get involved in this one. And I like Russ betting it, I really do. I think it's a strong play by Hollywood Russ. Hollywood Russ has really upped his game today. I think he's playing a solid game of poker tonight.
Yep.
And is Barry going to call to set up a play? Yep, he is.
Turns a jack. Russ fills up now.
Now, do you check this one time?
No, Barry's going to bet 100. Well, you might just call this one time. I don't necessarily buy the fact that Barry has a... Well, he's going to actually raise him a little bit. No, Barry's going to fold.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mind the... he shows the full house.
Nice bluff, Ron.
I folded my 4.
I mean, once in a while, like you and I like to build pots up. If you think your opponent has absolutely nothing, though, sometimes you got to let him bluff into
Right.
it.
Now we have to do the 4 of a kind, right?
Button's going to move over here to seat 6. Barry.
King versus aces.
So once again, you can watch this show in its entirety. I think we start our live loop about 11 p.m. tonight, Pacific time, and it goes all the way till tomorrow about 5 p.m. And then you can watch the entire week on Sunday, and then obviously catch us live again on Monday. And I believe we're probably going to go back to Limit Hold'em on Monday with the
Yeah, if we can get it. Yeah. Button's moved over here to seat number 8. Russ.
Once again, don't hold us to it though.
Mike has now been gone for 45 minutes. Got about 5 minutes left in the show, Dave. Time for a few hands.
It is. Okay, you can raise.
Barry here is going to limp with Jack 10. Katsutani's posted from behind. He's got ace deuce. And he just checks it, Dave.
You can see the button.
4-way action here. $80 pot. King 9-7. Barry's got a gut shot. John's got top pair. John's going to come out and lead here with a weak top pair.
Yeah, well, John betting, that raises my eyebrows. I'm going to throw my hand away. But I would throw a hand strongest, like say even King Jack or King Nine, King Jack or King Queen away here.
And Jason's going to raise him. He's going to raise him at 330. And John can't take any heat with King 3 here, can he? Nope.
No, and look at that. Jason takes it down. Shows the bluff. No, he doesn't. He throws it away.
Yeah. Bud's going
That's
to move over here to
interesting.
seat 9.
That poker tracker where you get how many percentage of hands you play, I think the more valuable thing is really how many percentage of hands you see in position, out of position,
Right.
so forth.
Take a look at the final chip count of the night. Over 46,000 here on the table.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the differences. Who's the big winner tonight?
Wow, look at
Steve, 4,000. Didn't play many hands. Got paid off.
Yeah, you don't
and
have to play
Barry went from the big winner to the big loser.
Yeah, he's really had a tough night tonight. I think he'll know he has not played his best poker tonight. But Steve's kind of a testament. You don't have to play a lot of hands to be successful in No Limit Hold'em.
Russ is going to raise here to 100 with ace-10 of diamonds. And he's going to take it down.
Take it down. Mr. Hollywood.
Look at that arm in the picture there on the left-hand side of the screen.
It's a hairy arm.
So you went back in for the big one?
Bart's reaching and grasping now.
Very big one.
I mean, Mike has just disappeared.
And like we said, obviously he works here. He probably something came up where he needed his attention.
Yeah, we got about maybe time for 2 more hands here, so we're going to be ending at the show soon.
Lives around.
5-way action here, Dave.
$100 pot, a lot of aces. Surprise, surprise, no ace comes.
8-5-4 with a couple of clubs.
And everybody's missed this, huh?
Turns a jack.
Still nobody has a pair.
Russ is going to bet.
Look, it's 5 ways and nobody has a pair.
Russ bets 60.
And Russ has really opened up his game a little bit more, and I like his playing. He's going to take this down. Earns himself a $100 pot. Really played pretty solid there.
They were probably both the same.
Button moves over to Steve Flicker in seat 3.
Yeah.
Small blind is Barry. Big blind is Jason. Hollywood Russ is under the gun. First act.
So Flicker has the button.
Hollywood's not going to get involved. Actually, with the John, he's got 6 deuce. I don't think he's going to play this hand. No, he doesn't. Allen's got Jack 9 suited. And some people might raise that in the cutoff seat, but he just limps in. You know, if you're going to play that hand in the cutoff seat and nobody else has entered, why not raise it, right?
Well, Katsutani's got ace-king, and he's going to raise.
Well, once Barry calls, you know, Jason figures, hey, why not raise for value?
Yep.
And Allen's going to call, and I'm sure Barry's going to call as well. No, Barry's going to get rid of it.
2 players.
Oh, we're heads up here. Ace-king against Jack 9. Here we go. And look at this. Katsutani bets blind, and it's all spades here. And Allen really hasn't hit this. He's got a gut shot to the 8, but there's 3 spades.
Well, how about checking blind? There it is, betting blind. Well, I guess Jason figured, you know what, there's no flop that can come out that I'm not going to bet, so why not just bet it? And Allen, when Jason wins the hand.
The same combination. Diamond, I'll take it.
Take it down. But he's going to move over here to seat 3, Steve Flicker.
Jason loves that visor look, man. You know, you're not a big fan of visors, are you?
I don't usually wear visors
What
all
about
that
hats? I've never seen you in a hat, actually. And I've known you for over a year. I've never seen
I
you
like
in a
the way
hat.
my hair looks.
Right. You are.
Seat 6. Actually, Barry's got the button here in seat 6. You don't
Do you
wear
walk
hats
around
that
with a
often.
comb? Like grease type thing? No. That'd be so cool. You just kind of like.
Limped around there. And Katsutani's going to raise.
120.
You can see 1 king. He's got the king of hearts. He's got pocket kings here. He's going to make it 100 more. And Steve Flicker's going to call here with pocket 7s.
Yeah, why not? Well, you know what? Steve's not going to call with ace jack or ace queen, but pocket 7s, if he hits a 7, he's in good shape.
And Jason bets blind here. 8, 10, 8, 4, and Flicker folds.
And Jason is just running this table over, isn't he?
We're going to take a look at the last hand of the night here, folks. Again, if you had any streaming problems, you can watch the show in replay, as always. Starts an hour after the show. All the way up to tomorrow. We replay the whole show on Sunday night, or Sunday afternoon at noon time.
Yeah, once again, please bear with us. Give us a week or so. We are going through upgrades, but we do promise that. When the upgrades are finished, the product should be great.
And anyone that's been with us, for a year, we never had streaming problems the first year of this entire show. So this is a relatively new thing. Last hand of the night, Katsutani's got the button.
Johnny's under the gun, he's first to act. Katsutani's got ace jack on the button, by the way.
Yeah.
So you know if it limps around to him, if it raises, if nobody raises, you're sure he's going to raise the button. Wow, and look at this. Alex has got kings. How do you play this now? Against an aggressive player on the button, do you raise this or do you just call? It's hard to know where Jason's at, though. Jason could have anything. You've seen him do this with king 4.
And he made it 70. And it looks like Alex just made a smooth call here, Dave. Here we go. Kings against ace jack. Queen 6-6.
Not a bad flop for kings.
Oh, look at this. Check, check.
And Jason says, I check the best hand.
Turns a 5. It's a 3rd club, and Alex has got the king. Check, check again. And here we go to the river, and the river's a 9. $200 bet. And look at this. What great instincts by Jason. He folds.
I mean, it's amazing. Jason bet the flop, post-flop, every other hand except this one.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Again, thank you all for joining us. Another week down the tubes.
Down.
And we'll be seeing you again next week on Monday. For everybody here in the booth, I'm Bart Hanson, and for Dave Tuckman, good night, everybody, for Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.